Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another live stream watch along on the Dibbly-Dobbly podcast. It is Australia versus India, match number 11 of this Super 8 stage in Group 1 of this T20 World Cup for 2024. The stakes could not be higher in this game. Lots riding on it. For Australia, they have to simply win to keep their semi-final hopes alive after what was a very disappointing result against Afghanistan the other night. Whereas for the Indian team, they're pretty much through to the semi-finals and will more likely favour themselves to win this tournament. But it's quite simple for Australia. They have to win. They win, they get 2 points, and they hope Afghanistan don't have a higher net run rate if they do go on to defeat Bangladesh later on today. But what we do know is that South Africa and England have qualified for the semi-finals. Obviously having good wins early yesterday. England defeated the USA quite comfortably by 10 wickets, and obviously South Africa defeated the West Indies in a rain-affected match to book their place in the semi-finals. They are undefeated. And will it be the year for South Africa? They look pretty good at the moment, but things can happen in the semi-final. The good news is from St. Lucia is that we had a bit of rain, but the sun is out and shining down, which is good to see. And the news from the toss is that Australia won the toss. Mitchell Marsh had no hesitation to say, we'll have a bowl first. Australia have made a change to their 11. One change, Ashton Agar out, and Mitchell Starc comes back in for Ashton Agar. For India, they've pretty much named their 11. It's pretty much the same as it was in previous games. We'll go through the 11s. Australia, Warner, Head, Marsh, Maxwell, Stoinis, David, Wade, Cummins, Stark, Samper, and Hazelwood. And for India, Rohit Sharma, Kohli, Pant, Suryakumar Yadav, Dubey, Hardik Pandya, Jadeja, Axel Patel, Kuldeep Yadav, Arshdeep Singh, and Jasprit Bumrah wraps up their 11. So it's a very important game, as I said, for Australia. For India, they're pretty much through. They've qualified for the semis, but they can get their revenge, I suppose, after what happened in the World Cup final last year. But Australia will be hoping that the scars and the mental scars are still there and they're able to get the job done today. We shall see what happens in the next 3 or so hours. But for now, both teams are making their way out for the national anthems, as always. And both teams will know the importance of what today holds. So thank you, everyone, for joining us, wherever you may be, for this important game between Australia and India. India will be batting first. Australia won the toss, chose the bowl first. And they will be looking to restrict India to a total that they can chase later on today. Whereas for India, this is the first big test, I suppose. They haven't been really tested throughout this tournament, India. They've undefeated, yet to lose a game, but today could be the day that they lose a game, possibly. So both teams are ready and just getting ready for the national anthems to be sung, and with gusto and pride. And then we're soon to get on with the business of this important game. And thanks for joining us, everyone, wherever you may be around the world. Join us, have a bit of fun. We'll talk cricket. Whatever happens, we'll still have some fun, hey? That's what it's all about. Jihan. Well, good afternoon, or good morning over there, Jihan. You're at the game, of course. You say, I'm at the ground right now, full of Indian fans, a few Aussies dotted around. You go on to say, Jihan, one of the Aussie fans gave me a fist pump when he saw me in my shirt and cap. That's the spirit, Jihan. That's the spirit. The Aussie support, of course. But it's a must-win game for Australia after what was a disappointing result the other night against Afghanistan, who thoroughly deserved their victory. They played really well. The Australian national anthem being sung by the Australian team and the support staff on the sideline joining in as well. Australia, how many times we've seen it from Australia in T20 World Cups and World Cups where their backs are up against the wall and they need something to happen in terms of winning the game to keep their semi-final hopes alive. For India, definitely a big test for them today. It's a good opportunity for them to see how they are tracking ahead of the semi-finals. It's all well and good to win your group matches and your Super 8 matches, but if you don't win a semi-final, then that's the telling point in the tournament, that's for sure. So India are about to sing their national anthem, and the Australian supporters applauding after the Australian national anthem was sung, and we're about to begin. So India, same 11 that they had in the last game, and it's the same 11 against Australia. For Australia, they made one change. Mitchell Starc is in for Ashton Agar, which I think is a good decision. I think he should have played in the last game, really. But the Australian selectors made that call. But it looks a pretty good team. It's a very important game, as I can't stress enough. So Australia will be bowling first. Cummins, Starc, Zampa and Hazlewood will be in the action. And Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli will walk out to the middle, the two openers, and they'll be hoping to get India off to a good start. But definitely a big test for India today, that's for sure. It's going to be Mitchell Starc, as always. Tall, left arm, fast bowler. He's going to be bowling the first over, as always. And out comes Virat Kohli, striding out to the middle with intensity, with gusto and intent. And he's out there with Rohit Sharma, the captain. India, can this be their year that they win an ICC event? They have not won an ICC trophy since 2013. That was the Champions Trophy in England, where they defeated England in the final at Edgbaston in a rain-affected match. So Mitchell Starc picking up his bowling mark as he puts it on the ground, about to get this match underway. Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli out there in the middle. Wonderful day in St. Lucia, of course, here at the Daren Sammy National Cricket Stadium, of course, named after former West Indian captain and T20 World Cup winning captain, Daren Sammy. So Rohit Sharma going to take strike, and he'll be first facing the first ball. Virat Kohli at the non-striker's end. Mitchell Starc with brand new ball in hand. India, they'll be hoping to get a very good score on the board here. Put Australia under pressure in the run chase if they can. Time will tell. And Mitchell Starc, he's a wicket taker, as we know. He's very effective. Strike bowler. And he'll be hoping that he can break early for Australia. He usually does in the first over of any match. He always breaks through. So we're about to begin. Almost ready. Everyone in position, everyone ready. Umpire Richard Immenworth just looking at his watch, making sure we just tick over to the start time. Still waiting for the countdown to begin. We're all in readiness. So here we go. First over. First ball of this very important match. Australia versus India. Match number 11 of the Super 8s. Must-win game for Australia. Starc is in. Over the wicket to Rohit Sharma. This one a full toss and wide outside of stump. Rohit Sharma works it out to point, and there's no run. Bit of a loose delivery there from Starc as he gets into his work. So far, so good. But for Mitchell Starc, yeah, well off the mark there. full toss, and Rohit Sharma can only work it out a backward point. So Mitchell Starc just not quite getting the radar right there, first ball, but he'll be hoping to get it back on the money for this second delivery. Starc is in. This one again. Oh, is he out here? Is he out? Is he caught behind? Now then. It was a full toss wide outside off stump again from Starc, and Rohit Sharma just fished at the ball. It went through to first slip. There was an appeal for caught behind. Mitchell Marsh has not gone upstairs. I think the umpires are checking to see if this was a bump ball or not. So we're going upstairs for the first review of the match. Richard Illingworth has signaled for the third umpire. He says, I need your help. We need have a look at this catch. Yet again, Mitchell Starc, that left arm over the wicket angle to the right-hander. Not quite getting the line and the length right, Starc, at this stage. But there was an appeal. Australia went upstairs. Rightly so. If you think it's out, appeal. It would be a very good breakthrough if they can get Rohit Sharma out early. Here's the replay. Michael Goff is the third umpire from England. Full toss outside off stump. Rohit Sharma did get bat on that, but it appears it did bounce into the ground, I think. Maybe a bump ball there. Let's have a look. Yes, into the turf as it went to first slip. So, yeah, got the outside edge there, Rohit Sharma of the bat on the ball, but it hit the ground. So not out. He survives. 2 dot balls. Starc. Fired up. He's in again to Rohit Sharma. This one, full on the pads, and Rohit Sharma whips him through mid-wicket for 4. And the first boundary for India. And Rohit Sharma will feel comfortable about that boundary there. He's off the mark in style. Mitchell Starc got the headband on. Means business. But yeah, that one on the pads. And all that Rohit Sharma needed to do was just whip that past David at mid-on. He's picked up a boundary. John says hello. Hello, John. And he says, simple equation for Australia. Time to put up or shut up. Here's Starc in again to Rohit Sharma. This one angled across. Well outside off stump. Rohit Sharma gets bat on it, glides it down to third man for a single, and he moves on to 5. And Virat Kohli will be on strike for the first time today. Mitchell Starc didn't play in the last game against Afghanistan, which I think was a bit of a mistake. He is your strike bowler. Ashton Agar did bowl well in the last game against Afghanistan, but had a bit of a shocking day in the field. But he's back today, Starc. He's in. This one full and wide outside off stump. Kohli drives to point, and there's no run. Virat Kohli short of runs in this tournament. India would like him to score some runs today going into the semis. India do know who they're playing in the semi-final. Of course, it will be England. England and South Africa have qualified already for the semi-finals. So it will be India and England that will play in the semi-final. The other semi-final will be South Africa and either Australia or Afghanistan. It will be an interesting few hours, that's for sure, to determine that last spot. Starc in, this one full, and Kohli defends back to Starc, and there's no run. End of the over, it's none for 5 after 1. Interesting start. A couple of loose deliveries from Starc, a boundary from Rohit Sharma, an appeal for caught behind, which was a bump ball. So all happening, as Bill Lowry would say, in that first over of this very important match. But whatever happens today, I suppose that's just the way it is. T20 World Cups, you have one bad day like Australia did. It can ultimately cost you a T20 title. It's going to be Hazlewood. And he's going to be bowling this second over. Josh Hazlewood. thus far in the tournament, he's only taken 3 wickets in 6 games. So he'll be hoping to add on to that wicket tally today. Australia will be looking for early wickets in the power play. So it's going to be Rohit Sharma on stroke to Hazlewood. Hazlewood, right arm over the wicket to Rohit Sharma, the right-hander. This one full. Rohit Sharma just works it down to third man for a single. And he's on 6. And Kohli yet to get off the mark. So far, so good for both sides, I think. Just getting into their work and getting into their groove. And they'll be hoping that Mitchell Marsh will be hoping that his strike bowler and Hazlewood can pick up an early wicket or 2. So Hazlewood, he's in now to Kohli, who's yet to get off the mark. Hazlewood in. This one back of a length and short, and Kohli just works it off his pads to mid-wicket, and there's no run. Umpires today, Richard Illingworth from England and Richard Kettleborough, the on-field umpires, and Michael Goff is the third umpire from England. So an all-England affair in the officiating team today. For this very important match. Good start from Hazlewood, just a single off his first couple of balls. He's in again to Kohli. This one full. Kohli drives, but he can't get it past the fielder recover, and there's no run. Bit of a recap for everyone who just joined us. Australia won the toss. They chose to bowl first. Made one change to the 11, Mitchell Starc in for Ashton Agar. Whereas for India, they kept the same 11 as they had for their last game against Bangladesh. Keeping the same 11, keeping that continuity. And really not much riding on the game today for India. They're pretty much through. But Hazlewood is in. This one short, pulled from Kohli, high and long into the air. Is it going to be caught? It is! Taken by Tim David, running back with the flight. And Australia struck in the first over. Kohli gone for a duck. Hazlewood will be delighted with that wicket. And what a big wicket it is of Virat Kohli. The king is gone. He's gone for a duck. It's 1 for 6. Did not time it whatsoever, Kohli. This short ball from Hazlewood. Kohli went for the pull, hit it high on the bat. David running from mid-on to mid-wicket to take that catch, running back with the flight, and Hazlewood is pumped. Double fist pump as he celebrated that wicket. Kohli, he's had not a prolific T20 World Cup. He walks off disappointed. He's gone for a duck of 5 deliveries. It's 1 for 6. As Rishabh Pant comes to the crease. Good to see Rishabh Pant back. We all know what happened to Rishabh Pant. There's horrible injuries in that accident. But good to see him back. And he's out there at number 3. We have a job to do. India have lost an early wicket. Good start from Australia. Put pressure on straight away. That's what they failed to do against Afghanistan the other night, is that they could not take early wickets in the power play. That's where they struggled. But they've taken a wicket here thus far. Big wicket of Kohli, who hasn't had a great tournament. Jihan, who's actually at the ground over there in St. Lucia, he writes in and he says, what a fantastic catch from Tim David. Let's hope the fielding is on today. Can't let Pant get away. Now it was a brilliant catch. That's a good start. A very good point that you raised there, Jihan, about the fielding. Good start from Tim David there. Good catch from him. Running back with the flight. They're often difficult to take those from looking over your shoulder, running back. Hazlewood is in to Pant. This one full. Pant drives to mid-off, and there's no run. Excellent start from Australia. Have a look at the replay again. Yeah, Kohli just not quite timing that. Hit it high on the bat. Excellent catch from David, running with the flight. He had to cover some ground from mid-on to mid-wicket. Around about 26 metres he had to cover. So he made good ground. Kohli, yeah, just high on the bat. And David watched it all the way into his hands. David Warner's pumped about that. Hazlewood in to Pant. This one full. Defended by Pant to cover, and there's no run. Excellent over from Australia. Into the over, 1 for 6 after 2. 1 for 6 after 2, and Australia will be delighted with the early breakthrough of Virat Kohli. Virat Kohli would not be happy about that, getting out for a duck. And as I said, he hasn't had a high-scoring tournament, Virat Kohli. It's been pretty quiet from him, and he'll be hoping that he can contribute something in the semi-final in a few days' time for India. So it's going to be Stark to continue, none for 5 from his first over. And he'll be continuing. And Rohit Sharma on 6 of 5, Pant, none on 2. 1 for 6 India after 2 overs here in St. Lucia. Stark is in to Rohit. This one full and lofted over cover by Rohit Sharma. All the way for 6 over deep cover. And that's the first maximum of the day. Yep, 2-4 from Stark. Easy pickings for Rohit Sharma. And he's not going to miss out on that, especially in the power play with only 2 fielders out. In the end, safe shot. So Rohit Sharma's done all the scoring, 12 of 8 for him. Yep. 72 metres, that's 6. Not a bad shot from Rohit as he looks to put pressure back on Mitchell Starc in Australia. That one just being checked to see if it actually landed beyond the boundary. And it has, so Richard Illingworth confirms that it was a 6. Good start for Rohit Sharma in this over. Starc in again to Sharma. This one full wide outside of stump and lofted again over deep cover for 6 from Rohit Sharma. Back-to-back 6s already. And Mitchell Starc, the angle across. The right-hander, just getting that line a little bit wrong, too wide. And this one being checked again. Note that went for 4. Just bounced inside the boundary, so 4 runs. So nonetheless, 10 runs off the first 2 balls. Good start for Rohit Sharma in this over. Yeah, that one just bouncing well inside the boundary before making contact with the rope. So that will be signaled as a 4. Yeah, just bouncing inside the rope there. 4 runs. And already Rohit Sharma taking it on to Mitchell Starc here. Already 10 runs off the first 2 balls. 6 and a 4. No, it's a 6. Well, I thought that was a boundary. I thought that was 4 there, but no, it's a 6. It's been confirmed by Richard Illingworth, so it did hit the rope on the full. Starc is in to Sharma. This one full and wide outside off stump, and Rohit pulls it over mid-on's head for 4. So already a good over thus far from Rohit Sharma. Already 16 off the over, 6, and a 4. Yes, just over mid-on's head. I think it was David Warner there. He was nowhere near that as he was trying to leap. He's not very tall, David Warner. He's probably one of the shortest players in the side. Starc not happy about that. And rightly so. Was in the slot and not where he wanted it. So good start from Rohit Sharma. 22 of 8 deliveries. He's pretty much done all the scoring for India thus far. Virat Kohli was dismissed for a duck in the previous over by Hazelwood, caught by Tim David. Here's Starc in again. This one full and lofted over deep mid-wicket for 6 from Rohit Sharma. And he's taken Mitchell Starc downtown in this over. That's the third 6 of the over and a boundary. And already this over being costly for Australia. Well, Rohit Sharma means business. He's not going to let Starc dictate terms and putting the pressure back on him. Mitchell Starc hasn't quite got it right at the start of his spell. Right in the middle of the bat there for Rohit Sharma, and pretty pleased with that 6. Well, already an expensive over from Starc. 3 6s and a 4. Can he finish off? Can he get out of the over? You'll be hoping that will be the case. Already 1 for 28 India. Stark in. This one full and wide outside off stump, and Sharma plays and misses, and through to the keeper, no run. Good comeback from Stark. Dot ball after being dispatched to all parts of St. Lucia in this over. And the Indian supporters, the Indian crowd, cheering that six. The last six there from Rohit Sharma. Very happy with that shot from the skipper. So Stark in, last ball of the over to Rohit Sharma. This one full and wide outside off stump. It's quarter wide, and fair enough. That was well wide of Rohit Sharma, and he has to re-bowl that one again, Stark. Another run onto the total. And one more delivery for Stark to try and get out of this over, which has been very expensive. So 1 for 29. One ball left of the third over for India. Mitchell Stark being taken apart in this over by Rohit Sharma. Stark in. This one a full toss. Top edge from Rohit Sharma. Goes high and long over the rope for six at third man. Not in control of the shot, Rohit Sharma, but it doesn't matter. Got a thick top edge. It flew all the way over third man boundary for six. It's the end of the over, 1 for 35. An expensive over from Mitchell Stark. I don't think he'll be very happy with that over. And for Rohit Sharma, very productive over. And that last delivery, got the toe end of the bat there. So not in control. I don't think that's where he wanted it to go, Rohit Sharma. I think he wanted to hit that in front of square on the leg side. Not over third man for six, but in this modern day age with the bats these days, with the thick edges and bigger bats, they do carry if they fly off the outside edge. But anyway, he'll take that nonetheless. Good over from India. 135 after 3. Hazlewood back for his second over. He's going to be bowling to Pant. He's in now, Hazlewood, and this one back of a length, and Pant defends comfortably on the front foot. Back to Hazlewood, and there's no run. So Josh Hazlewood will be looking to add some calmness and stability after the last over from Stark, who, well, we know that's going to happen from Mitchell Stark. He's not a Hazlewood-type bowler who bowls a consistent line and length. He's always going to be a bowler that's going to be a bit wayward, but he gets wickets, he gets results, and he's very effective, but not quite on it in the first couple of overs. But Hazlewood already got the first wicket of Curley for a duck a couple of overs ago. Hazlewood in. This one short, and Pant attempts to cut. And he gets a bit of bat on it, and it goes out to cover, and there's no run. Looks a good surface. This pitch here in St. Lucia, not St. Vincent. Looks pretty good. I think Mitchell Marsh had no problems in bowling first. Probably suggested that the pitch won't change all that much as we enter the second innings later on today. Also, there is a bit of weather around as well, so probably had that in the back of his mind as well with Duckworth-Lewis in terms of chasing. So that's why Marsh decided to bowl first today. Rohit Sharma also said he would have liked to have a bowl first today as well. Hazlewood is in. And this one is defended by Pant to mid-wicket. Cummins dives, but the ball escapes him. And mid-on will have to do the fielding. They come through for a single. Could have done a little bit better there, Pat Cummins, to stop that delivery. That one just sneaking through. So a reasonable start from India. Rohit Sharma's done most of the scoring, of course. Took Mitchell Stark downtown in the last over for plenty. And he's 34 off 11. Pants off the mark. He's 1 off 5. 136. So he's done most of the scoring. So Australia will be hoping to remove him as soon as possible. Get a new batter in, put pressure on. in this power play. Hazlewood is in. This one back of a length, chopped down by Rohit Sharma, gets an inside edge, which nearly went back onto the stumps, and Matthew Wade will do the fielding, and there will be no run. Yeah, that one just came back into Rohit Sharma. Got an inside edge, nearly back onto the stump, and his heart would have been in his mouth there. But luckily for Rohit Sharma, no damage done, and he survives. So good over from Hazlewood. Just the single off it. He's in again to Rohit. This one short, and Rohit gets it out to backward point for a single. 1 for 37 India. Rohit Sharma moves on to 35. So good comeback over from Hazlewood after Mitchell Starc went for plenty in the last over, which included 4 sixes and a boundary and a wide. This over from Hazlewood, not a surprise. 2 singles, 3 dot balls. Very economical, Josh Hazlewood, at any format of the game, whether it be Test cricket, ODIs, or even T20 cricket. He has adapted well to the T20 format. So, last ball of Hazlewood's second over. He's in now to Pant. And this one is back of a length and defended comfortably by Pant. Back to the bowler, no run. It's the end of the over, 1 for 37. Good over from Hazlewood, just a couple from it. And 2 overs remain of the power play. Well, thanks everyone for joining us. I hope everyone's excited. If you're an Australian or Indian supporter, excuse me, I think everyone will be excited with this match today, knowing the importance of this game. Do let us know in the comments. About your thoughts on how this game will go, and obviously this T20 World Cup as well. So it's going to be change in the bowling. It's going to be Pat Cummins, not a surprise. He's taken 2 hat-tricks. Pat Cummins, he's the second bowler behind Wasim Akram to do that in international cricket. Take 2 hat-tricks in 2 consecutive games. Not good news. The covers are going to come on. The ground staff are ready with the covers on the sidelines. Cummins is in to Sharma. This one full and swung and pulled into the air by Rohit Sharma. And it goes over the deep leg, square leg boundary for 6. And it hits the stand and it hits the roof, the ball. So I think we're going to need a new ball there. Rohit Sharma has teed off. Well, that's a hefty blow by Rohit Sharma. He's off to a flyer. Yep. Short from Cummins and pulled away from Rohit Sharma over deep square leg, and it hit the roof of the stand. And I think the umpires will need a new ball. I don't think we're going to get that one back. Rohit Sharma, 41 of 14, 1 for 43, India, but the covers are on. Not a good sight for Australia. If this game is washed out, Australia are eliminated. Because if Afghanistan win against Bangladesh, they get 2 points. Then Afghanistan go through to a semi-final. So that's not good news that the covers are on. Won't be good news for Mitchell Marsh. He would not like to see the covers be put on right now. Because as I mentioned before, if this game gets washed out, Australia get a point. Then in that sort of scenario, then that's not a really good place to be in, really. Otherwise, they could kiss their semi-final hopes goodbye and be boarding that Qantas flight from St. Lucia back to Australia. Which is not what they want. They want to stay there in the West Indies and, be there until the end, I suppose, and win the whole tournament. That's the plan. They don't want to go home at this stage. But the covers are on. There was some rain predicted today with weather. That's why Mitchell Marsh decided to bowl first today with that in mind, because of Duckworth-Lewis. You want to chase because the total will be adjusted. So we're not far away from 5 overs being bowled. So we have to have 5 overs of the Indian innings completed, and then to constitute a game, obviously, and then get back out there. And then Australia will have to face 5 overs as well to constitute a game. And the result can be obtained in that sort of situation. But yes, Australia will be hoping that the rain goes away, because they don't need the rain. They get out of this game with a point. That's not what they want. They want 2 points and a net run rate boost. And they hope that, well, the ideal situation is that they hope that Bangladesh beats Afghanistan. Because with Bangladesh, in terms of their net run rate, is in the negatives. So as we have a delay, we'll just have a look at the table as it stands in Group 1. So if Australia win today, they'll be on 4 points. They got to have a good net run rate boost. At the moment, it's positive 0.223. Afghanistan's negative 0.650. And Bangladesh is negative 2.489. So ideally, the ideal situation for Australia would be to win this game today and hope that Bangladesh can beat Afghanistan later on today. If that happens, then Australia will more likely go through, because of the net run rate is higher than Bangladesh's. So that's an ideal situation. But if this game does get washed off due to the weather, which we have a delay here for rain at the moment, then pretty much that will not do Australia any good. They'll get 1 point, and then if Afghanistan win, they get 2 points. They go to 4. They qualify for a semi-final. So Australia will be hoping that the rain goes away very shortly. That's not what they want. So anyway, I suppose these are the scenarios that are in play. But, we'll have to wait and see what happens. We all make these predictions and estimates and, calculations. Anyway, that's what you do in the game. So as we have a bit of delay, we can have a bit of a chat and sit back, and any questions or any thoughts that you may have, do let us know. We would love to hear what you are thinking. John says, I'll have to read about it in the morning. Can't keep my eyes open any longer. That's fair enough, John. That's fair enough. Yes, well, all the other Australian matches were early in the morning. Around about 10 in the morning here in Australia. But yes, the time differences are a bit difficult, are they, with the Caribbean, the time zones there. So this game being a day game, which is early in the morning here. So not ideal, but I suppose that's just the way it is with the scheduling and time differences and time zones. But the covers are on. Brief shower in St. Lucia, which is frustrating, more so for Australia. They can't afford to have this game be affected by rain. And they will need the rain to subside. But it looks like the rain has stopped. The ground staff are out there. They're roping the outfield, so that's a good sign. So we'll probably, the covers are off, so we're going to be back out there very shortly, which is good. And we'll be back out there for a resumption in play. So a brief delay with that shower. So both teams are waiting on the sidelines. not really too concerned with this short delay, but both teams are raring to go. The umpires are walking back out along with the Australian team, so we are going to get a restart in play after that short delay and shower that came over the ground just briefly. So India 1 for 43, and it's mainly been Rohit Sharma. 41 off 14 has done all the scoring. Josh Hazlewood got the first wicket of Virat Kohli for a duck. Mitchell Starc was taken downtown by Rohit Sharma. The third over of this match went for plenty. 4 sixes and a boundary and a wide. And 200 sixes in T20 Internationals for Rohit Sharma. And that's a big achievement, milestone of course. 200 sixes, that's a lot. He has played for a very long time, Rohit Sharma, coming towards the end of his career. So the players are back out there. We're about to get a restart and get back again. I think that rain delay will be good for Australia, just to rethink about the plans and just to get back on with their plans and making sure that they are executing their skills with the ball. Just a little bit of a break just to reset, regroup, and not so much for the batters, for Rohit Sharma, Rishabh Pant. As a batting side, you don't like to be going on and off. Interrupts the rhythm and the momentum and the fluency. So you would like to not have this stop-start nature, but it's one of those days where rain is forecast, and we may have those stop-starty sort of delays. So that's just the way it goes. So Pat Cummins will continue. He started his first over before that shower came. First ball went for 6, which Rohit Sharma hit onto the stand, onto the roof here in St. Lucia. And that was the first ball to be bowled after we went off because of this rain delay. But the sun is out and the rain has moved on. And we're about to begin yet again. So it's going to be Cummins. Right arm over the wicket to Rohit Sharma. And this one tucks up Rohit Sharma into the pads. And there is no run. Good comeback from Cummins after being hit for 6 first ball. Pat Cummins, 2 hat-tricks in 2 consecutive games. He picked up one against Bangladesh, and the other night in the losing cause against Afghanistan, he picked up another one. And a couple of hat-tricks for Pat Cummins. Is there anything Pat Cummins can't do? He's done everything over the last few months to a year. Cummins is in. This one full and wide outside off stump and lofted through backward point for 4 from Rohit Sharma. His run onslaught continues. And he races to 45. And India are 1 for 47. Well, it's all been Rohit Sharma in this power play. That one full from Cummins and wide outside of stump. Rohit Sharma got a bit of bat on that. Raced it down there to deep backward point. So Rohit Sharma playing with that aggressive approach, that mindset. Cummins is in. And this one beats Rohit Sharma past his outside edge. Through to the keeper, no run. Good comeback from Cummins after the boundary. Already 10 runs off the over. 6 on a 4, a couple of dots. That one, just a play and a miss from Rohit Sharma as he was trying to look to work this ball to the offside, but the extra bounce there from Cummins prevented him to do that. Cummins in again to Rohit. This one short, pulled, top edge from Rohit Sharma, and it goes down to the third man boundary for 4. Rohit Sharma continuing His aggressive approach, he's on 49 off 18 balls. It's 1 for 51. The 50 has come up for India in no time. Australia need to get Rohit Sharma out ASAP. That one came off the outside edge. Not where he wanted that one to go, Rohit Sharma. He wanted to hit that to the leg side, but he got an outside edge. And it flew down to the third man boundary for 4. Cummins, last ball in to Rohit. This one full and wide outside off stump. Rohit works it to wide mid-off for a single. Productive over from India, 15 off it. It's 1 for 52, and that will bring up the half century for Rohit Sharma. And he's done it in a matter of minutes. He's taken Mitchell Starc downtown, and now he's taken Pat Cummins downtown in this over, went for 15. So Australia will probably need to get him out ASAP. This partnership already 46, and Rishabh Pant has only contributed 1 of those runs. And the other 45 have gone to Rohit Sharma. So 1 over left of the power play. It's a good power play from India. 1 for 51. So it's a pretty good surface. There's nothing in the surface to suggest that it'll be difficult. Looks pretty good. Evenly paced pitch. Rohit Sharma off to a flyer. Hazelwood back. He's in. This one full. And Rohit gets an outside edge. And it goes out to backward point for a single. He moves on to 51. So it's all been Rohit Sharma thus far in this Indian innings. He's the only one that's got India off to a very good start. Curley got out for a duck early on by Hazelwood, caught by Tim David, who took a very good catch running back. And Rishabh Pant's out there. He's only added 1. So it's all been Rohit Sharma. 50 off 20. 1 for 53. So it's going to be Pant on strike for the first time in a while to Hazelwood. He's bowled really well. 1 for 3. He's in Hazelwood. This one a reverse switch hit from Pant. He went for the old reverse lap, just falling short of Marcus Stoinis at short fine leg. Just falling short. Nearly carried to the fielder. Didn't quite time that Pant. Hit it high on the bat, but just falling short at the last moment when it reached Marcus Stoinis there. That short fine leg. So Pant looking to tee off. Hazelwood is in. This one short, pulled by Pant. And they'll get a single out to a deep backward square leg. He moves on to 2. 1 for 54 for India. So it's a good start, mainly from Rohit Sharma, who's done all the scoring. Pant's only added 2 runs in this partnership. Partnership of 48. Curley missed out, dismissed for a duck in the second over by Josh Hazelwood, who got the first wicket for Australia. So last over the power play, 3 balls left. What will Rohit Sharma do here to try and maximize this power play? Hazelwood in. This one short, pulled by Rohit. Doesn't time it. He'll get a single out to a deep backward square leg. Mitchell Starc does the fielding. And he moves on to 51. 1 for 55 for India. It's a good over from Hazelwood. Just a couple of singles and a leg by and a dot. 1 for 5. Very economical in his spell thus far. Very important match for Australia. A win today will pretty much help their cause to the semi-finals. If they lose, well, that's pretty much the end of the road. Hazelwood is in. This one short, pulled by Pant. And he'll get a boundary to deep mid-wicket. And it will go for 4. So he gets his first boundary, Pant. He's been a bit quiet, but he's starting to get motoring here. He's on 6 off 9. 1 for 59 for India. Hazelwood with the short ball, Pant obliged. He wasn't going to miss out on that. No one back there, obviously, in the power play. Only 2 fielders outside the circle. One of the 2 fielders was not there at deep mid-wicket. Hazelwood in. This one full, and Pant gets an outside edge. And good work from David Warner at short third man. Cuts it off for a single. It's the end of the over and the power play. It's 1 for 60 after 6. Good power play from India. 1 for 60 after 6. And Australia need to remove Rohit Sharma as soon as possible, because he's been the one that's really been motoring. 51 off 21. If they can pick up a couple of wickets here, Australia stem the flow of runs. They don't want to concede a big score, make it difficult in the run chase. Australia have to win today if they want to stay in this tournament. The shock loss to Afghanistan could prove to be costly at the end of the day. And it was always going to be like that for Australia, always going to be a banana peel sort of game where they would slip up. And that's what happened. So that's why they're in this situation. But they can get themselves out of the situation with a win. It's a good start by India. 6 overs, power play done. It's a good start, but things can change quickly. They can lose a couple of wickets. Rohit Sharma may get out. Pant, so they may lose a couple of wickets here and there, and will slow things down again. That's what Australia will be hoping. Samper in to Pant, who advances down the wicket and dispatches Samper over long on for 6. Well, Adam Zampa, first ball into the attack, and he gets dispatched for a maximum. Rishabh Pant starting to flex his muscles. Yeah, tossed up by Sampa in the slot, and just a shimmy down the wicket from Pant. Just an easy shot down the ground over long on for 6. Dropped in the crowd, but 6 runs at the end of the day. Sampa in. This one full, and Pant will work this out to deep points, and he'll pick up a single. And he moves on to 14 off 12. 1 for 67 for India. Australia need a wicket here or two to stop the flow of runs and restrict India and their scoring. Because at the moment, India are off to a very good start, mainly from Rohit Sharma, and now Rishabh Pant has started to pick up the momentum. Samper in, and this one is worked by Rohit for a quick single. And he moves on to 52. 1 for 68 for India. So 10 runs and over in that power play for India. 1 for 60. They'll be hoping to maximize that. But Australia will be hoping to pick up a couple of wickets here and there to restrict the scoring. They certainly need to break this partnership. Samper in. This one full, tossed out. Sorry, let me say that again. Samper in, and this one full and wide outside of stump, driven by Pant, just for a single out to deep cover. 63, this partnership of 31. Rohit Sharma, 46 of the 63 runs. Pant, 15 of the 63 in this partnership. So it's all been Rohit Sharma. Samper is in. This one outside off stump and swept and pulled by Rohit Sharma over the rope for 6 over deep square leg. Well, danger signs for Australia now. They need to get rid of Rohit Sharma. He's already on 58 off 23. India are 1 for 75. They're off to a fantastic start. You have to say it's been pretty ordinary from Australia with the ball in this power play and after the power play. They need to pick up wickets. A couple of wickets here and there. Slow this momentum down by India. They can't afford to lose this game today, Australia. They lose, they're out. It's simple as that. But India making a statement. Can they get their revenge after what happened in the World Cup final last year? Good start, 1 for 75, but there's still a lot of cricket to be played. Sampa, he's a crafty bowler. He will come back. Already 15 off the over. Sampa in, last ball of the over to Rohit. And this one on the pads and full. And Rohit will work it off his pads to deep square leg for a single. Another productive over from India. It's the end of the over, 1 for 76. after 7. Well, 1 for 76 for India. Marcus Stoinis comes into the attack for the first time today. Pretty simple. Australia have to win today. Have to win, have to boost the net run rate and ensure that Afghanistan, if they do win against Bangladesh, don't get a higher net run rate than them. Or the other scenario is that they hope Bangladesh win against Afghanistan, which could be a possibility. You never know with Bangladesh. They can be unpredictable at times. But that's later on today. Let's focus on right here, right now. And Marcus Stoinis is going to come into the attack. 1 for 76 for India after 7. Rohit Sharma is the big priority for Australia. Try and keep him quiet. Try and get him off strike, get Pant on strike. But more importantly, to try and get him out. You can't really do much if he's out. So here we go. Stoinis in to Rohit. This one full and defended by Rohit. Back to the bowler, no run. Virat Kohli missed out today. Got out for a duck. He's watching on. Hasn't scored many runs in this tournament, Kohli, but India will be hoping that he can have an impact also in the semi-finals, come semi-final time, which is in a couple of days' time. Stoinis in. This one full and pulled by Rohit Sharma. Out to deep square leg for 4. The run scoring continues from Rohit Sharma. And it's another boundary. India, 1 for 80. 63 for Sharma. Already off 26 deliveries for Rohit Sharma. Well, India not taking a backward step today. They are playing with aggression and intent. Rohit Sharma looking to lead from the front as skipper, banishing the demons of what happened last year in the World Cup final. Marcus Stoinis in. This one short, pulled by Rohit Sharma. Has he got enough? He has. He's got enough on it. Over deep backward square leg for 6. He didn't quite time that at all, Rohit Sharma, but he got enough on it for it to go over the rope. He moves on to 69. It's already 1 for 86. Not even halfway. It's a fantastic start from India. Australia need that wicket. Break this partnership. Start picking up wickets at regular intervals, putting pressure back on India here. But that one sailed over the rope and juggled in the crowd, but caught in the end. I think it was Stoinis in. This one full, lofted over, extra cover for 6. Rohit Sharma continues the onslaught. 1 for 92, and he's already on 75 off 28. And you have to say it's been pretty ordinary bowling from Australia. It's been pretty pathetic, to be honest. And I think that's the right word to use. It has been pretty poor. That's in the slot, and that's not where Marcus Stoinis would like to bowl. Stoinis in. This one short, pulled by Rohit. Out to a deep square leg. Stark will do the fielding. They'll come back just for the single. They were thinking about 2, but they decide not to. The last couple of balls in this over have gone for plenty. And India off to a very good start in this power play. Simple. Australia lose today. They're pretty much out. They win. There's still a chance. 1 for 93. Australia need to pick up a couple of wickets just to slow the runs down. It's been high run scoring. Stoinis in. This one, Pant flicks it high and long into the air. Is he going to be caught? He is. Caught it long off. That's the wicket Australia needed to end the 8th over. And Rishabh Pant has gone for 15. He tried to pull that onto the leg side, got a leading edge, went straight up into the air, and a very good catch from Josh Hazlewood at long off. who takes a comfortable catch at the end. That's the wicket Australia needed. And Pant, very disappointed. Trying to flick it onto the leg side. Leading edge, as I said. And straight up in the air. Brilliant catch from Hazlewood. Settled underneath it comfortably. At long off. Stoinis picks up another wicket in this tournament. So Pant has to go for 15. It's 2 for 93. And Australia pick up the wicket that they needed. So hopefully that will provide some stability for Australia and provide some calmness after what has been a very frenetic start with the ball in hand. But they picked up a wicket, broken the partnership, and but the big wicket still is Rohit Sharma. He's on 76 of 29. That's the big wicket still for Australia to get him out. As Suryakumar Yadav arrives to the crease. Sky. He's done pretty well in his career. Thus far, comes out to the middle, joining Rohit Sharma, who will be on strike for this 9th over. Not a bad tournament for Suryakumar Yadav. He's got a 50. 53 is his highest score. So he's at the non-strikers end. Rohit Sharma on strike to Adam Zampa. Here we go. Zampa is in. And this one tossed up and full. And Rohit works it down to long on for a single. He moves on to 77, 2 for 94 for India. Jihan, our man from the ground, over there in St. Lucia. He says, really needed that wicket under real pressure here. Have to say, apart from that last shot over extra cover of Stoinis, this has mostly been filthy slogging from Rohit. Need him out quickly. Yes, he has swung at everything like a rusty gate, Rohit Sharma, but he's connected and he's got the results. So couldn't agree more there, Jihan. Australia do need to get him out. He's the big wicket. Get him out, start to slow things down. Zampa in to Sky, this one on the pads, and Sky works it out to deep square leg for a single. He's off the mark. 2 for 95 for India. Rohit Sharma, 77 off 30. He can be very dangerous, as we know, Rohit Sharma. Adam Zampa, 13 wickets in this T20 World Cup. He's second on the tally behind Fazal Farooqi from Afghanistan. He's got 15. Zampa in. This one tossed up, lofted, over cover by Rohit Sharma. Hasn't quite timed it. One bounce to David Warner out there at deep cover, and he'll pick up a single. Nearly went straight into the hands of Warner there, but in the end, it's only a single. That's a good result for Australia after boundaries have been flying everywhere at the start of this very important crunch match. Zampa in. This one tossed up, outside off stump, driven by Sky. Gets the outside edge down to deep backward point. Warner does the fielding. He went for the dive, can't quite cut it off. It goes into the rope for 4. Will bring up the 100 for India for 2. And it's a very good start indeed. India looking for a very big total here. 2 for 100. It's a good start. Australia need to pick up a couple of wickets. A couple of wickets here and there. Keep picking up wickets. Zampa is in. This one on the pads, and Sky works it out to a deep mid-wicket for a single. He moves on to 6, 2 for 101. One ball left of the 9th over. Zampa in, and Sky works it out to the leg side for a single. It's the end of the over, and very productive over indeed from India's point of view. But Australia, I suppose, in the context of how this game has gone thus far, I think they'll be pleased with that last over, just the 9 runs from it. End of the over, 2 for 102 after 9, nearly halfway. How many runs can India get? Already 2 for 102 after 9. hoping to maximize this good platform that has been set by Rohit Sharma in particular. 79 off 32. I probably think this pitch here in St. Lucia, very good batting surface. Not too many demons in the surface thus far. It's been pretty good for batting, as we've seen from Rohit Sharma, who's off to a flyer. Stoinis in, this one short, pulled by Rohit Sharma. Gets over the top of Stark at short fine leg, and it races away to the boundary for 4. Well, Rohit Sharma, he hasn't timed a lot of his shots today. That one came so close to Stark at short fine leg. Banged it in short, Stoinis. He went for the pull shot, Rohit. Just over the top of Stark at short fine leg. Got the hand to it. Just couldn't get that hand to the ball. Just went over his fingertips. And Rohit Sharma, well, he's pretty much... Stoinis is in. This one is a play and a miss by Rohit. Through to the keeper, no run. Dot ball. But as I was going to say about Rohit Sharma, 83 off 34. None of the shots that he's played today haven't been timed. He's had a lot of luck, which you need in T20 cricket. You need a lot of luck. And he's already had that luck at the moment. But it's a pretty good good start nonetheless. But Australia need to get him out. If they get him out, they can start to build some pressure. Stoinis in. This one well wide of off stump, and it's going to be quarter wide. And he has to re-bowl that one again. New World Cricket, Joey says India's in good shape. Yes, it's a good start, but there's still a lot of cricket to be played. 2 for 107 can quickly change to add on a couple of wickets. Could be 4, 5 down. Could be a different story for Australia. They just need a couple more wickets to stem the flow. Stoinis in, this one short, pulled by Rohit, and it's gone over the rope again for 6 over fine leg. Another 6. He's 87 off 35, Rohit Sharma. This has been some sort of innings. India, 2 for 111. Rohit Sharma, 87 off 35. He's been the only Indian batter today that has looked pretty comfortable at the crease, really. He's the only one that's done all the scoring. So that's not gone for 6. It's gone for 4. It was one bounce over the rope, so 4 runs. I thought that carried for a minute over the rope, but it didn't. Nonetheless, another boundary for India. Marcus Stoinis, can he get the breakthrough? Can he dismiss Rohit Sharma? Stoinis in, this one full on the pads, and Rohit works it out to deep square leg for a single. Warner does the fielding. Moves on to 88. It's 2 for 112. Joey says, a big hit from Rohit Sharma. Yes, it was. He's doing quite well at the moment, Rohit Sharma. Australia need to get him out ASAP if they want to control this rate of scoring. They're scoring at nearly 12 runs and over, India. But what we can say, it's a pretty good pitch. Good for batting. I think we're in for a high-scoring match. So, Marcus Stoinis. 1 for 27. He's in to Surikumar Yadav, who works it off his pads through square leg for a single. Moves on to 7. It's 2 for 113. So India, well, they pretty much know the importance of this match for Australia. Pretty much if they win, they knock out Australia. And I suppose that's good motivation and incentive to have. And they've started well, 2 for 113, but Australia, if they can add a couple of wickets to that, preferably get rid of Rohit Sharma, things can be a lot different. Stoinis is in, this one full of wide outside off stump. Rohit chops down on it. He'll get a single out to deep backward point. It's the end of the over. It's 2 for 114 after 10. Halfway, it's time for drinks. And I think drinks has come at a good time for Australia just to reset, reevaluate what has just happened. Rohit Sharma off to an absolute flyer. Akon Op says Hitman is king. Yes, Rohit Sharma. He's off to a very good start. India 2 for 114 after 10. Rohit Sharma 89 of 37. Suryakumar Yadav 7 of 4. 2 wickets have fallen thus far. Virat Kohli was dismissed for a duck, caught David, bowled Hazelwood, and Rishabh Pant was out for 15, caught Hazelwood, bowled Stoinis. The only 2 wickets to fall. India, they still have a lot of batting in the shed. They've got Shubham Dubey in next, Hardik Pandya, and then Jadeja and Axel Patel. He can give it a whack. But Rohit Sharma's been the only batter from India today that looks comfortable compared to the other batters thus far. Akon says, love from India. Well, thanks for joining us. It's good to see you. No doubt you'll be enjoying the start from the team. They've started well, but things can change in the next 10 overs. As we know in T20 cricket, it takes a couple of good overs here and there from Australia to peg the scoring back. And that's what Australia will be hoping to do here. But it's a very important game. Obviously, win Australia, they will have an opportunity to go through to the semi-finals. If they lose, well, that's pretty much the end of the road, and so be it, I suppose. These things happen in tournaments where you have one bad day, which they did against Afghanistan, and it can quickly derail your tournament in a matter of minutes, which is just the way it goes, really, in tournament play. So drinks at the moment. And good opportunity for Australia just to reset, regroup. Certainly a very fast start from India. Rohit Sharma has gone off like a man possessed. He's, well, as we know, Rohit Sharma is a very dangerous player, as we know. Very capable of producing these innings. So drinks, 2 for 114 after 10. 10 overs remain. What can India get to? They're on track to get to a score that will be challenging. Maybe 180, 190, 200 even is predicted. So Australia will be hoping to peg things back with a couple of wickets here and there. So Rohit Sharma, 89 off 37. He's 11 runs away from what will be a very impressive century. He's from the word go, he's just gone off from the get-go. It's going to be Pat Cummins who's going to be back into the attack. Mitchell Marsh has said, give me a wicket, Pat. So there's been 3 hat tricks in this T20 World Cup. Pat Cummins took 2 of them in back-to-back games against Bangladesh and Afghanistan in this T20 World Cup. And Chris Jordan, who picked up a hat trick against the USA a couple of days ago. They're the only 2 bowlers to pick up hat tricks. Well, technically, Pat Cummins has picked up 2 of them. Rohit Sharma, it's been don't really have any words to describe his innings today. He's mistimed some shots, but they've gone for 6 or 4. Taken it on, really, being aggressive, not really intimidated by the occasion, just backing his ability, and he's certainly done that. And Australia will be sort of a mixed bag from the first 10 overs with the ball from Australia, probably not hitting their areas quite enough, not building pressure with dot balls. Cummins is in, this one full and driven by Sharma. He'll get a single out to deep cover. Thinking about 2, there's a bit of a misfield from Warner, and they will come back for the second. Sharma, 91. He moves on to now David Warner, not happy with that misfield. That's something that Australia did against Afghanistan, the misfields and the fumbles. It should have been 1, not 2. David Warner just fumbling that and picks up a couple of runs, Rohit Sharma. So it should have been 1 run, really. David Warner in his final T20 World Cup. This could be his last T20 international for Australia today, if Australia lose. and they don't go on to the semis. Cummins is in. This one short. Rowett glides it down off the face of the bat, down to third man for a single. He moves on to 92. 2 for 117 for India. They've got 8 wickets in the shed. Australia will be looking to pick up wickets here and there. There's a very strong breeze blowing across the ground. The flags indicate that. Quite breezy, especially on the coast, near the sea. So Cummins, can he provide that breakthrough for Australia? If India keep going at this current run rate, they'll be scoring well over 226. I don't think Australia will want that. Cummins is in. This one, played a miss by Sky. Through the keeper, no run. Bit of extra bounce there from Cummins. And Sky wasn't able to connect with that. Yeah, just extra bounce through the keeper. Nearly got the outside edge in the process. Pat Cummins, he's one of those cricketers that can come on, make things happen. And Australia need him to do something here now. Need to pick up a wicket or two to stop this onslaught from India. Cummins in, this one lofted by Sky. Will fall short of the fielder at mid-off, and there's no run. Well, it's been a very fast start by India. 1 for 60 in the power play, overs 7 to 10, 1 for 54 at a run rate of 13.5. And Rohit Sharma's been responsible for that. Cummins is in. This one short and wide outside of stump, and Sky works it through backward square leg for 4. He went outside off stump to whip that ball outside off stump and picks up a boundary. 2 for 121 for India. Two for 121 for India. Australia need to win today. Cummins is in. This one lofted by Sky. Over long off for 6. It's gone all the way. Not a bad way to end the over. End of the over, 2 for 127. India, after 11 overs, are on track for a big score. Australia need to do something quickly. They need to get wickets. They can't concede over 200. If that happens, well, pretty much forget it. If India get over 220 or 30, you can forget it, really. Australia probably ain't chasing that down, and that's probably the end of the game. So Australia will need a couple of wickets to peg it back. That one clearing the rope by Sky. He's 17 off 8. So what we can suggest, or what we can observe from the pitch is it's a pretty good pitch. It's a very good wicket. So I think we're in for a high-scoring match either way. Mitchell Starc back for his third over. None for 34. He needs a wicket. I think that's a pretty obvious summary to make. Needs a wicket, Starc. Hasn't been quite at his best today. None for 34 from his 2 overs. 11 overs have completed. 2 for 127. Mitchell Marsh scratching his head. He needs a wicket from somewhere. Any wicket will do. Preferably Rohit Sharma. He's on strike on 92. Starc is in to Rohit. This one defended by Rohit to mid-off, and there's no run. 2 for 127 for India. They've gotten out of the blocks, mainly all thanks to Rohit Sharma. And it's just one of those innings, I suppose. You play one of these blinders, and everything just happens. He hasn't timed the ball a lot. He's played some shots that have been mistimed, but he's got boundaries. And he's written the luck, which you need to do. Starc is in. This one full. And bowled him! He's knocked him over. Beaten him all ends up. Rohit Sharma is finally dismissed. And the onslaught of runs has ended. The Indian crowd are disappointed. Rohit Sharma's disappointed. The Australian crowd are cock-a-hoop. But a fantastic innings nonetheless. He set the platform for India, but Stark, he needed to come on and get a wicket, and he did. It was a full toss. Rohit Sharma beat all ends up for pace and went straight through him and knocked over the stumps. Sorry, it was a good Yorker. Sorry, my mistake. It wasn't a full toss. It was a brilliant Yorker from Stark, just dipping to the base of the stumps and disturbing the timber, and ends the innings of Rohit Sharma. Rohit Sharma gone for 92, bowled by Stark. It's 3 for 127, and that's the wicket that Australia needed to try and get things back on track for them. Round of applause from the teammates of Rohit Sharma on the sidelines. It was a magnificent innings. It really was. But India will know that there's still a lot of work to do. So Shivam Dube comes to the crease. He's the new batter who will be on strike. And a wicket needed for Australia. Just to slow things down, it's taken a few overs to break through of Rohit Sharma, but I think they'll be pleased. I think Stark will be more relieved to pick up the wicket. That's a big wicket. 3 for 127, so Australia can start building some pressure here. Stark to Dube, the new batter. This one short and wide outside off stump and cut to third man for 4. The fielder, Travis Head, came around to cut that off, but he couldn't cut it off. He missed the ball altogether and went into the rope for 4. So not a bad start from Dube, just getting underneath that and cutting it down to third man for 4. Travis Head came around, couldn't get a hand to it. So the run scoring continues for India. 3 for 131. Dube, not a bad way to get off the mark. He's 4 off 1. And Suryakumar Yadav, 17 off 8 at the non-striker's end. Here's Stark in. This one full and traps Dube on the crease. He gets a bit of a outside edge that trickles out to point, and there's no run. So Stark targeting those pads of Dube. But the one with Rohit Sharma, good Yorker. We know the Stark can bowl those good Yorkers at the base of the stumps and the pads, and that's what happened with the Rohit Sharma dismissal. And Rohit couldn't do anything about that, really, and had to go. So Stark into Dube. This one full, and Dube gets a bit of an inside edge that works its way out to mid-wicket, and there's no run. So good comeback from Stark after the boundary. 2 dots, already a wicket in the over and 4 runs. Rohit Sharma, 92 he made today, or 41. Third highest score of this tournament. And Nicholas Pooran is the top scorer of the tournament. 98 he made against Afghanistan for the West Indies. And that's the highest score of the tournament thus far. Stark in. This one full, and Dube drives to cover. And there's no run. Good over from Stark, got the key wicket of Rohit Sharma. End of the over, 3 for 131. 3 for 131 after 12. And Australia will be very pleased with the wicket of Rohit Sharma. He looked dangerous from the get-go. Let us know in the chat your thoughts on the match. We'd love to hear what you have to say. The poll that we have running in the chat, 20 votes. 50% have said Australia will win today. 45% will say India. 5% for the weather. Samper is in. This one full and driven by Suryakumar Yadav down to long off for a single. He moves on to 18. It's 3 for 132. Next batter in, Hardik Pandya, waiting on the sidelines for his turn, and he'll be the next one to come in if the wicket falls. Adam Zampa, he's been very good in this tournament for Australia, picked up wickets at crucial times. has done a job. He's into his third over, and he'll be hoping to pick up a couple more wickets here to do the job for Australia. So Samper into Dubé. This one tossed up, and Dubé drives out to the fielder at wide long off, and he'll pick up a single. He moves on to 5. 3 for 1, 3-3. So Australia just able to squeeze here a little bit. Samper in, this one on the pads, and Sky works it out to deep square leg for a single. So Australia, with the fall of Rohit Sharma, have just quietened a few things down here a little bit. Picked up the wicket of Sharma, and it's caused a little bit of a lull in what has been a very frenetic start from India in this game. Samper is in, this one tossed up, and Dubé just defends it to mid-wicket, and there's no run. So Australia just able to just put the screws on a little bit here. A couple of dot balls here and there, trying to limit the boundaries as they try and apply pressure on India. Samper is in, this one tossed up. Dubé pulls high and long into the sky, over deep square leg for a 6. That's gone onto the hill, and it's been taken in the crowd. And India, 3 for 140, and a catch has been taken in the crowd. And Dubé not missing out on that. That one on leg stump. Just opened his front leg to give himself room to access the ball. And he pulled it comfortably over deep square leg for 6. Well taken in the crowd by that person in the crowd. Excellent catch. Be very pleased with that. He must be a cricketer. So Samper, can he finish off the over without any more damage? Samper is in. This one short, and Dubé works it to deep, wide, long on, and he'll pick up a couple of runs. Good running. End of the over, 3 for 142. Three for 142. 7 overs remain of this first innings. India will be eyeing off possibly 200. If they don't quite get to 200, they'll be very disappointed after the start that Rohit Sharma provided them. I think they'll be very disappointed if they don't get to that score. But Australia, they'd just be happy to see the back of Rohit Sharma, that's for sure, because he was teeing off left, right, and centre. Marcus Stoinis will continue. He will be bowling to Suryakumar Yadav. 1 for 29. Mitchell Marsh, captain, looking on, leading the side for the first time at a T20 World Cup. Stoinis is in. This one full, and Sky lofts this ball into the leg side, and David Warner will do the fielding at deep mid-wicket, and they'll just pick up a single. He moves on to 20 off 11, Sky, and India 3 for 143. Stoinis in to Dubé. This one full and driven down the ground for 4. Another boundary for Dubé, another boundary for India. They're 3 for 147. And no doubt this game is probably going to be a high-scoring affair. It's a good pitch. Not too many problems to talk about from the surface. It's a pretty good surface. Nice and flat. Stoinis is in. This one tucks up Dubé on the pads, but he works it out off his pads, and he'll pick up a single to mid-wicket. He moves on to 18. And Joey says from New World Cricket, let the runs flow. Well, it's been that sort of game, really. I think we're in for a very high-scoring match. I think it's going to be a high-scoring affair. But for Australia, they'll be hoping to pick up a couple of wickets here and there. Stoinis is in. This one full and lofted by Sky to the long-on boundary for 6. 150 up for India. 3 for 154. Suryakumar Yadav on 26 off 12. Dubé, 18 off 10. Run scoring continues. Well, it's pretty simple. For India, they're going to throw their hands at everything. They're not going to die wondering. And that's probably the right way to go about it in T20 cricket. Hope for the best. Stoinis is in. This one full, gets it out. Inside edge. Sky down to fine leg for a single. He moves on to 27. Dubé 18 off 10. 3 for 155 for India. 6 overs remain after this. And Australia will be hoping to try and limit the damage. But what we can say is that probably this is going to be a Stoinis in. This one full and defended by Dubé. Back to the bowler, no run. End of the over, it's 3 for 155. 6 overs remain. 14 overs are completed. 6 overs remain of this crunch match, this quarterfinal, you would like to say, between Australia and India. Whoever wins today, well, doesn't really much matter for India because they're pretty much through, but Australia need the win more than anything if they are going to win and go through to the semi-finals. Now, the poll in the chat that we have is that 50% of you think Australia are going to win, 45% say India, 5% say the weather. So do vote. If you haven't voted in the poll, do vote. Let us know who you think is going to win this game. So it's going to be Mitchell Starc. He's going to get bowled out here. He's into his last over, 1 for 38 from his 3. He's going to be bowling to Sky, who's 27 off 13. 3 for 155 for India. Australia will be looking to peg it back in the last 6 overs. And they would have been delighted to get rid of Rohit Sharma when he did, Mitchell Starc. That was an important wicket. So Starc in to Sky. This one short outside off stump. Sky cuts it through backward point for a boundary. It pierced the gap between backward point and short third man. He picks up another boundary, Sky. He moves on to 31. 3 for 159. Yep. Comfortably played by Sky. Pierced the gap comfortably from backward point to short third man. Mitchell Starc not happy with that delivery. Let's see what he can do on the second ball. Starc in again to Sky. This one full and a plainer miss by Sky through the keeper, no run. Dot ball. Good comeback after that boundary. So 3 for 159, 14.2 overs have been bowled. Australia looking to keep India under 200 if they can, or pick up a couple of wickets. Either way, the pitch looks pretty good. So I think we're in for a very high-scoring affair today. I think it's going to be an exciting match. Let's hope it is. Starc is in. This one short and wide outside of stump. Has he got the outside edge? He has. Well, Suryakumar Yadav caught up with that. And he's got an outside edge through to the keeper and Wade. He takes the catch and he's out. So Mitchell Starc picks up another wicket. He's got his second. India lose their 4th. Yeah, just went across his stumps there, Sky, as we have a look again. This one short and wide outside off stump from Stark, and Sky went for the cut shot, got the outside edge, and it just ballooned up straight to Matthew Wade, who took a very, very straightforward catch for a keeper. Very disappointed with that, Sky. He's got to go. 31. He made Surukumayadav. It's 4 for 159. And Australia pick up another wicket. And they'll be hoping that they can pick up another few wickets to slow the rate of scoring. Does it again, Mitchell Starc. Probably a bit disappointed that he didn't play in the last game against Afghanistan, but certainly he'll be delighted with the 2 wickets here, certainly helping the team out. Hardik Pandya arrives to the crease. He's had a lot of pressure on him, Hardik Pandya, over the last few months, especially in the IPL. He's a very talented player, as we know. He can bowl some overs and he can bat. Definitely give it a hit. He's definitely improved his batting over the last few years. He's made a 50 in this tournament. 50 not out is his highest score. He's on strike to Stark, who's got 3 balls left of his last over. Stark in to Pandya. This one full, and Pandya works it out to backward point. He gets it past backward point, and they'll come through for a single. He's off the mark. 4 for 160 for India. Yep. Last wicket there, Sky just reaching for this wide delivery. And just didn't quite execute the shot, and just helped it on its way straight into the gloves of Wade with that attempted cut shot. And he would be very disappointed, Sky. But I suppose he made his contribution in some way. 31 is not a bad result. Dubé, 18 off 11. He's on strike to Stark. Australia have spread the field out. They've got boundary riders protecting the boundary. Stark is in. This one full and chopped down by Dubé. Gets a quick single to mid-on. And he moves on to 19. 4 for 161. Well, thanks everyone for joining us. I hope you're having a good time enjoying the cricket and having some fun as we talk about this game between Australia and India. And it's always a very heated rivalry, of course, over the years, but played in a good way, I suppose, good spirit, and both teams relish this rivalry. Stark is in, this one full and driven by Hardik, and he will get a single out to deep backward point. It's the end of the over, 4 for 162. 5 overs remain, and Stark will be delighted with the wicket of Surukumayadav. 5 overs remain. Australia taking wickets when they can. India looking to accelerate scoring. Joey says, appreciate you staying up for the live stream. Yes, well, thank you, Joey. Yes. It is early hours of the morning here in Australia, just approaching 1:30 in the morning. But I suppose the things you do for cricket, I suppose, Joey, the things you do for cricket. So we all love cricket, and I love cricket. So, you know, I'm happy to provide the live stream for all of our subscribers, our supporters. And without you guys, we will not have the support and the community that we have on the podcast. So it's my way of thanking everyone. Hazelwood is back into the attack. This one cut by Hardik outside off stump down to short third man for a dot ball. So I think Australia will be happy with picking up the 4 wickets thus far. It looked a little bit ominous when Rohit Sharma was going off. So Australia have done well to keep it in check. Hazelwood is in to Hardik. This one full and a swing and a miss by Hardik. Through to the keeper, no run. Joey says, I'm at work, so it's perfect to listen to while working. well, that's good to hear, Joey. I hope I'm not distracting you from other duties. But We always appreciate your support, nonetheless. And I suppose that's what you can do, really, with cricket. Especially, it's a good sport to commentate radio sort of way. Hazlewood is in. This one full chopped down by Hardik. He'll get a single down to backward point. He'll pick up one, so he moves on to 3, 4 for 163 for India. So good over from Hazlewood. Very economical as always, as we know from Josh Hazlewood. He can provide these overs when needed. And so Mitchell Starc got the wicket of Suryakumar Yadav in the last over. 2 for 45. His second over went for 29 when Rohit Sharma went off. So that's not a bad result for Starc. Hazlewood in. This one is full and worked by Dubey out to point for a single. He moves on to 20 or 13. Hardik 3 or 5. India 4 for 164. One for 12 for Hazlewood. About two balls left of his last over. So Josh Hazlewood's going to get bowled out here. So we've got 4 overs remaining after this. Hazlewood is in. This one full and flicked by Hardik off his pads, but he only get a single out to deep square leg. He moves on to 4. It's 4 for 165. One ball left of the 16th over. So good comeback from Australia here. Just slowing things down in the server. Hazlewood providing that stability, providing that pressure in the server that Australia needed. So as we know from Hazlewood, very economical as always. And had the opportunity of meeting Josh Hazlewood myself. Had a photo with him. Hazlewood is in. This one full, chopped down by Dubey to short third man. They'll come through for a quick single. It's the end of the over. 4 for 166. 4 overs remain. Good over from Hazlewood. Economical as always. 6 overs. 6 overs remain. 4 for 166 after 16. That last over for Hazlewood, just the 4 runs coming off it. Very economical as always. And it's just kept things a bit quiet for India here. Adam Zampa about to bowl out. None for 36 from his 3. So we'll be hoping to finish off strongly here. Zampa into Dubey. This one tossed up. Dubey works it out to deep mid wicket for a single. He moves on to 22. It's 4 for 167. Well, we're getting towards the end of this T20 World Cup. It's the last week of the T20 World Cup, and certainly it's been an entertaining tournament over the last month or so. It's gone very quick, and coming towards its conclusion, and we'll find out who will win and who will lift up the trophy. Zampa in. This one tossed up. Outside off stump and dropped, juggled by Mitchell Marsh at short. Third man. A single has resulted in that drop catch. Adam Zampa could have had his first wicket. And the Australian fielding, we saw in the game against Afghanistan, it wasn't great. Well, they've taken some catches today, but this one from the captain just sort of overran it. And then he was in an awkward position, Marsh. And then the ball hit him on the face and it boggled out. Zampa is into Dubey. This one outside edge and taken. This time, no, just falling short of backward points. Stoinis. Well, a couple of outside edges from Dubey. He should have been out twice. The first one, a drop catch by Mitchell Marsh. The second one, this one outside off stump, went for the big heave-ho. Outside edge, just falling short of Stoinis at backward point. So not an opportunity there, just fell short. Sampa is in to Dubé. This one on the pads and pulled by Dubé, but he'll just get a single out to deep mid-wicket. Just the one for Dubé. He moves on to 22. Swinging his hands at everything. Rafasan says Australia bye-bye. Do you remember me? Of course I do. It's been a while. Welcome back. It's been a while since you were here for a live stream. Of course, I remember you. Sampa is in, and this one on the pads, and Hardik works it out to deep square leg for a single. 4 for 170 for India. Adam Zampa could have had a wicket in this over. That drop catch from Mitchell Marsh. Rastafan says Australia trying to lose the match. Well, they don't want to lose the match. Zampa is in. This one on the pads and just falling short of deep backward square leg. Dubé will pick up another single. It's the end of the over. 4 for 171. Not a bad over from Zampa, just the 5 from it. 4 for 171. 3 overs remain of the Indian innings. Could have had a wicket, Adam Zampa. That was his last over of the day. Could have had a wicket if Mitchell Marsh caught the ball. Jihan, who's actually there at the ground, says, who dropped that catch off Zampa? That was real. Schoolboy stuff. Well, it was Mitchell Marsh. Jihan was the captain. The captain dropped the catch. Yes, Australia's catching efficiency in this T20 World Cup is 70.6% of the teams in the Super 8. They're the lowest team in terms of catching efficiency. They've dropped a few catches in this phase of the tournament, which is very unlike them, as Pat Cummins will come back to bowl his third over. He will bowl the 17th and the 19th over. Sorry, the 18th and the 20th, and Stoinis will bowl the 19th. Cummins is in. This one full and wide outside of stump, driven by Dubé. And he'll pick up a boundary. Not quite. The sweet Hazelwood comes from long off. He'll cut it off for 2. Not a bad result. 4 for 173. Rastafan says Afghanistan will qualify for the semis. Possibly. They may not qualify if Australia win today, have a good net run rate. So there's still a lot of things to play out before we can say Afghanistan have qualified. Cummins is in. This one, a full toss. Dubé swings high and long into the air. Is he going to be caught? The ball will fall safe, and David will do the fielding at long on, and they'll come through for a single. 27 off 20 for Dubé. Trying to swing at everything here at the moment. Hasn't quite timed it. Just swinging like a rusty gate, if I can say that. And 4 for 174, I think. Given the start that India had, I think they'll be disappointed in some way. I'll come back to that in a minute. Rastafan says Afghanistan, India, South Africa, and England. And final, India versus England, and England win the T20 World Cup. Possibility, we shall see. Cummins is in. This one full driven down the ground by Hardik. Only to long on. Hazelwood will cut it off for a single. He moves on to 7, Hardik. 4 for 175. So good over from Cummins, just the 4 from it. What we can say that this pitch is pretty good. It's a good surface. Very good surface indeed, obviously, as we saw from Rohit Sharma. He teed off pretty quickly. Cummins is in. This one banged into the surface, and Dubé pulls it out to deep square leg. Only for a single. He moves on to 28. It's 4 for 176. 2 overs remain after this. India 4 for 176. Australia just applying the screws on in the last couple of overs. And India, in the last few overs, haven't hit a boundary. Cummins is in. This one short and whacked by Hardik. Sort of like a flat-batted sort of tennis forehand, and he slaps it to the cover boundary for 4. So that's the boundary that India needed, 4 for 180. He moves on to 11 off 10, Hardik. Took the pace off that, Pat Cummins, and banged it into the surface, and Hardik was up to the task. Sort of a tennis forehand slap, really. Just a bit of a slap, and got it to the boundary for 4. But nonetheless, still a pretty good over from Cummins. Last ball, Cummins is in to Hardik. This one full and driven by Hardik. Not timed. Go out to long off for a single. End of the over, 4 for 181. 2 overs remain. Not a bad over from India, 10 off it. 2 overs remain in this innings. What can they get to? Over 200, or can Australia keep them under 200? I think that would be a good result. Rastafan says Australia lose by 35 runs against India and Bangladesh win by 30, and Bangladesh qualify for semis. Yes, that's a scenario. Yes, that mathematically, yes, Bangladesh can still qualify. It's highly unlikely, but we shall see. Marcus Stoinis to bowl his last over. 1 for 42 from his 3. And he'll be hoping to keep it to a reasonable over. But what we can... Stoinis is in. This one full and wide outside off stump. And what a shot that was from Hardik Pandya. Very hard to describe that shot, but he's hit it over the rope for 6. And as he hit it, he sort of pivoted as he hit the ball. He was all over the place there, Hardik, but he gets 6 runs. It was sort of like a lofted shot. And then after he played the shot, he sort of went around in a 360 sort of motion. It came off the outside edge of the bat and it went straight to the boundary, all the way for 6. And it carried all the way. Well, Stoinis is in. This one full, lofted down the ground by Hardik. He's got to be out. Caught it long off. No, it's over his head for 6. Back-to-back 6s for Hardik Pandya. Not a good start of the over from Stoinis. And Hardik Pandya has flexed his muscles. It's 4 for 193. And this one a better shot from Hardik. In the slot, down the ground, over long off's head. Perfect connection. 6 runs. In India, eyeing off 200 here. And Marcus Stoinis, not a great start to the over. This one, a single to the legs, to the offside by Hardik. Very disappointed with that. He missed out. But I suppose for Australia, good result. It's not a boundary. Just the one. Rastafan says Australia need aggressive start in the power play. Well, David Warner and Travis Head can certainly provide that. We shall see. But, looks a pretty good pitch. Not too many problems. So I think Australia will back themselves. Look, it's going to be tough. Chasing anything over 200 is tough. But Australia have done it before. They have chased down 200 before in T20. Stoinis is in. This one full on the pads. And Dubé flicks him straight to the fielder at deep mid-wicket. Excellent catch from David Warner, I think it was. Stoinis picks up the 5th wicket for Australia. Dubé's got to go for 26. He did his role in some sort of capacity. Stoinis, this one just on leg stump, and Dubé flicked it off his pads. Excuse me. But straight into the hands of David Warner, who took a very good catch at deep mid-wicket. So Stoinis gets the wicket of Dubé. India lose their 5th. Dubé's got to go for 28. Caught Warner, bowled Stoinis. It's 5 for 194. Rastafan says Head loves to play against the Indian bowlers. Well, he's certainly prolific against them, as we saw in the World Cup final last year when he made that 100. So, new batter, Ravinder Jadeja at 7. Comes to the crease. Hasn't made many runs in this tournament, Jadeja. He's only made 7 runs in the tournament in total. So what can he do here with a couple of balls left in this over and an over to go? Stoinis is in. This one full. And full. Sorry, this one full and swing and a miss by Jadeja. Nearly collected his off stump. And through to the keeper, no run. Nearly got bowled first ball there, Jadeja, as he backed away to try and connect with that delivery from Stoinis, but he couldn't. Rastafan says head out, Australia out. Well, David Warner and Travis Head are going to be important, that's for sure. If they get off to a good start, then yes, it could make a difference. Stoinis is in. This one full outside off stump. Jadeja works it out to deep cover just for the single. It's the end of the over, 5 for 195. 1 over remain, and Pat Cummins will bowl the last over for Australia. 5 for 195. 1 over remain. Can Australia keep it to under 200? Well, it's close to 200, only 5 runs away from that for India. But Australia, they pretty much need to do what they need to do, and that's to win this game and back themselves. I suppose at the end of the day, if they lose, that's the way it goes in a tournament, I suppose. That's the way it is. But if you go on and win this game, then it will be a very wonderful victory, I suppose. But, anything is possible. But India just started well out of the blocks. Rohit Sharma did what he needed to do there. Cummins to bowl the last over. He's in now to Jadeja. This one short, pulled by Jadeja through square leg. He'll pick up a single at least. Just come through for the single and give Hardik Pandya the strike, which is, I suppose, what you need to do. He's out there. He's the established batter. And that's what he needs to do. But judging by India, is this the year that India win the T20 World Cup? They're under pressure. They haven't won a tournament in a very long time, more than 10 years since they won the Champions Trophy. That's the last event that they won in terms of ICC events and trophies. So they'll be hoping that they can end the drought in this tournament. They've played some good cricket, but you've got to try and win it in a semi-final. It's no point going undefeated and then losing the semi-final. Cummins is in. This one, a swing and a miss by Hardik. Through to the keeper, no run. He played that with one hand off the bat there, Hardik, as soon as he wanted to hit that out of St. Lucia, but just lost his shaper there a bit and couldn't connect. Dot ball, good result for Cummins and for Australia. Only the single off the first ball of the over. Dot ball followed by Cummins. Cummins is in. This one full on the pads. Hardik works it down to long on just for the single. Good bowling from Cummins. Bowling to his field. Rohit Sharma not looking overly too excited, even though India are 5 for 197. He should be pleased. He played a good innings, but the skipper, not much emotion from his face. Maybe he thinks we could have got more. Maybe. Don't know. Cummins in to Jadeja. This one full on the pads and flicked high and long into the air from Jadeja, and it's gone over the rope for 6. 200 is up for India with a magnificent shot from Ravinder Jadeja. India, 5 for 203. 2 balls left of the 20th over. We're in for an exciting game of cricket, that's for sure. Jadeja doing what he does best. Rastafan says that's a good decision by Australia not to select Steve Smith, because Steve Smith played many dot balls. Cummins is in. This one full outside off stump. Jadeja pulls to deep square leg. Didn't quite time it. Just come through for the single. 5 for 204 for India. So Australia will need to chase over 200, which is not going to be easy by any means. Obviously, when you chase anything over 200 is going to be very difficult to chase down. So here we go. Last ball of the innings. Cummins is in, and this one is pulled by Hardik. Didn't quite time that pull shot. It trickled out to the leg side just for the single. It's the end of the 20 overs. India 5 for 205. Australia would need 206 to keep their semi-final hopes alive. Is it enough? That's the question. Many people would say anything over 200 is enough, but as we know in T20 cricket, anything over 200 is not enough. You need a lot more, but Australia will need to go at a run rate of 10.3 to the over, and they will need to get off to a lightning start. Obviously, David Warner and Travis Head will provide that in the power play if they can. But India, they've been very good today with the bat. They've been very strong in this tournament. And Rohit Sharma played an absolute blinder of an innings today. So we'll have a bit of a recap of what happened. So India, 5 for 205 from their 20 overs. Rohit Sharma top scored with 92 and of 41 deliveries, 7 fours and 8 sixes. So we'll go through the scorecard. Virat Kohli was the first wicket to go. He was gone for a duck. Caught David, bowled Hazelwood. Then Rishabh Pant was the next wicket to fall. He was gone for 15. Caught Hazelwood, bowled Stoinis. Rohit Sharma was then dismissed for 92, bowled by Stark. And then Suryakumar Yadav was dismissed for 31. Caught Wade, bowled Stark. And then Shimon Dubey was the last wicket to fall for India, the 5th wicket. And he was dismissed. Caught Warner, bowled Stoinis for 28. Hardik Pandya finished on 27 not out from 17. And Ravindra Jadeja finished on 9 not out off 5. The Australian bowlers, Mitchell Stark took 2 for 45 from his 4 overs, 1 for 14 from his 4. Hazelwood, no wickets for Cummins, none for 48 from his 4. No wickets for Zampa, none for 41 from his 4. And Marcus Stoinis, 2 for 56 from his 4 overs to wrap up the Australian bowling performance. So Australia will need 206 to win, and they will need to go at a run rate of 10 and over from the start. So it's going to be an exciting run chase nonetheless. Either way, going to be a interesting run chase, that's for sure. So anyway, I suppose Australia got nothing to lose. If they lose, so be it. If they win, well, it's a good thing. But if they lose, well, pretty much that day against Afghanistan will come back to haunt them in a big way, possibly. New World Cricket says, let's pray and hope it's enough. Rastafan says, not easy for Australia because you face Bumrah and Ashdeep. Well, they've been pretty good, but, as we've seen thus far, you have a good power play, things can go in a different direction. New World Cricket says, I have a feeling Australia will make a comeback. They refuse to go down easily. Yes, that's right. Rastafan says, Head first over, 36 runs. Rastafan says, first 6 overs decide who will win this match. Well, pretty much when you're chasing 200, it can be that sort of thing, really. But we shall see. We shall see what happens come the run chase. So, first innings is down. We're about to start the second innings. So there's the innings break. So let's see what happens in this run chase. Australia will need 206. I wouldn't discount it. There's a possibility Australia will chase down these runs. You've got to believe that you can chase down the runs. Let's see what happens, and let's see how it goes. But India, you would think, would be happy. Maybe a little bit disappointed, India. Maybe they're on track to get a lot more than 205 at one stage. So they may be a little bit disappointed that they didn't get more runs. But anything over 200 is good. But, it is that sort of thing in the modern day game that, what is enough? Is it enough? Well, we're about to find out if it is enough. But certainly India have certainly proved a point today in terms of, really trying to make a stand and make a sort of presence known. Well, they've certainly done that today, that's for sure. But for Australia, they'll be hoping that they can get off to a good start in the power play. Get off to a good start in the power play. Look to maximize the first 6 overs like India did. Get ahead of the rate. And if they can do that, then that will be a good, ideal result for them. Righty, so not far away from starting the run chase, and Australia would need 206 to win from their 20 overs. So let us know in the comments your thoughts on the run chase. Where do you think this is going? Can Australia chase it down? Can India defend it? We'll have to wait and see what happens come the run chase of this game. Alrighty then. Not far away from the start of the run chase. Australia would need 206 runs to win from 20 overs at a required run rate of 10.30 runs to the over. They won the toss, Australia. They chose to bowl first. And Mitchell Marsh saying, well, win the toss, we'll bowl first. Pitch looks pretty good. It probably won't change much from both innings of this game over the 40 overs. So we'll have to wait and see what happens in the run chase. India, I think they'll be pleased, but a little bit disappointed. They should have got a little bit more than 205 at one stage with Rohit Sharma going off the way he did. it looked like they were going to get over 220 at one stage. But I think they'll be pleased, but maybe slightly a little bit disappointed they didn't quite get a lot more. But I suppose that's the beauty of hindsight. So the Indian team about to make their way out to the middle. The umpires are walking out to the middle, about to begin this run chase. It's simple. Australia will need 206 to win from 120 deliveries. They will need to go at a run rate of more than 11 runs to the over. If they win, Australia, a semi-final spot beckons. If they lose, well, they can pretty much blame themselves for that game against Afghanistan, which has pretty much derailed the T20 World Cup campaign. But nonetheless, I think we're in for an exciting game either way, either result. At the end of the day, I think we're in for an exciting result nonetheless. David Warner, Travis Head about to make their way out to the middle. The openers for Australia, they've done pretty well of late. They missed out on the game against Afghanistan. They would like to make amends, but they did cash in the game against Bangladesh a few games ago. But they'll have the job of going out there in the middle and trying to get these runs and get Australia off to a good start. Let's see what they can do as they run out to the middle. And they know what they need to do. Jihan, our man from the ground, reporting live from St. Lucia, says, that was horrible to watch. That Stark over for 30 absolutely killed us. Then Marsh dropping Hardek cost us 2 sixes at the end. No look slogs. The Englishman in me has given up already. Jihan says, I was right in amongst the Indian fans initially, which was painful, and one guy kept waving the flag on my face. Very irritating. Well, I suppose you're enjoying the atmosphere there, Jihan. Keep providing those reports for us, but let's see what happens. You know, it's one of those things, I suppose, in cricket. You know, these things happen. Things don't quite go to plan. Rostafan says, Rowett rocked Australia. Shocked Australia. Well, he certainly played a blinder. That's for sure. And, you know, I don't... So the equation is simple for Australia. They win, they go through to a semi-final, potentially. Depends what happens with the Afghanistan and Bangladesh game. If they lose, well, pretty much they'll be on their way home. So that's pretty much a simple equation to remember. For India, they're pretty much through to the semi-finals anyway. Rastafan says, can India eliminate in this T20 World Cup? Well, they're pretty much safe, India. They can't be eliminated. With their net run rates, they can't be knocked over by either Afghanistan or Bangladesh or Australia. So they're pretty much safe in that top spot. So there's no need to worry there. All right, we're about to begin the run chase. Australia need 206 at 10 runs and over to win, go through to a semi-final potentially. If you're an Indian supporter, I think you'll be pleased that the innings of Rohit Sharma today. Arshdeep Singh is in to Warner, and this one is full wide outside of stump. Warner drives to point, and there's no run. Dot ball to begin proceedings. So I think we're going to be good with the weather. It looks like there's no more rain on the horizon, so that's good. So we'll definitely get in most of the 20 overs here in this run chase. Warner and Head, the key for Australia. Can they get them off to a good start? Arshdeep in, this one full and wide outside off stump. Warner will work it out to the deep cover boundary. He'll pick up a couple of runs as the fielder reins it in, and he's off the mark. And Australia also off the mark as well. Rohit Sharma was outstanding today. Played an absolute blinder. And got the start that India needed in the power play. 890 odd. He'll be pleased, but he knows the job is not done. Arshdeep is in. This one full, and Warner defends to point, and there's no run. Australia can't afford dot balls. Safan says, bye-bye. I'm watching headache batting. Yes, no pun intended. Travis Head and Warner. Got to get Australia off to a very powerful start, you would think, in this power play. So far, so good. Good start from Arshdeep. He's in. This one full, defended by Warner to cover. There's no run. Jihan says, one positive is the sun's out and clouds have disappeared. Don't think there'll be any more rain. Honestly, we need a Mike Hussey type innings against Pakistan to win this game. That was here. That was here too. Yes, it was. Yes, Michael Hussey against Pakistan. Yes, 2010. And it was in St. Lucia. Definitely Jihan. They'll need a Mike Hussey today. Arshdeep is in. This one full, and Warner pulls, and he gets a bottom edge that beats Rishabh Pant behind the stumps, and it goes all the way to the boundary for 4. First boundary of the innings for Australia. David Warner. Unconventional, but nonetheless, 4 runs. Yeah, try to cut that. That was wide from Arshdeep, outside of stump. Try to cut it, Warner, but he got a bottom edge. And in the end, just Rishabh Pant just moved too late, really, to that, and could not get a glove on that to cut it off, and it went to the boundary. So first boundary for Australia in this innings, which is a good thing for them. Arshdeep is in. This one full, outside edge, and taken. What a catch at slip. What a catch that is, that slip. And Australia lose their first wicket. David Warner is gone for 6. He went chasing at this one, wide outside of stump. The angle across him from Arshdeep. And that's the end of David Warner. Bit of movement, a little bit of movement, just prodded at it, really. And that is an excellent catch from Suryakumar Yadav. Arshdeep Singh delighted with that. David Warner gone for 6. It's 1 for 6, and possibly for the last time, David Warner will probably walk off for the last time as a T20 international cricketer for Australia. If Australia don't win today, and therefore the semi-final will not happen. So David Warner's possibly played his last T20 international innings right there. Not a great shot, just prodded at a wide delivery, could have left it. But I suppose in T20 cricket, you don't leave deliveries. And when you're chasing more than 200, you don't leave many deliveries. Mitchell Marsh comes in at number 3. The skipper needs a big score here. Australia 1 for 6. Bumrah is going to come into the attack, and he's not going to be easy. Jihan says, and remember, we're potentially watching David Warner's last innings for Australia here. Exactly right, Jihan. Just exactly what I said. Bumrah's in. This one is worked by head out to backward point, and there's no run. Well, he's just got out, Jihan, so that's probably the last time we'll see David Warner. Jihan says, I clapped him off, but no one else seemed to. Yeah, I suppose so, Jihan. It's just, David Warner in terms of, what's happened in his career. I suppose people have those opinions of him, but nonetheless, it's been a long, illustrious career, no doubt. Bumrah in. This one full on the pads, and Head works it down to find leg for a single. And he's off the mark. Australia need 206 to keep the semi-final hopes alive. I suppose if it's a close game, if Australia get close and lose, I won't be disappointed with that. I suppose, it's a good effort, but whenever you're chasing 200, it's always a tough task. But if Australia miss out, so be it. So be it. That's just the way it goes. They had one bad game against Afghanistan, which you can't afford to do in the Super 8s because it puts you under pressure, and that's what's happened in this game. Bumrah in. This one full. Marsh works it out to backward point. There's no run. Mitchell Marsh, captain, and he'll be hoping to play an innings of some substance. I wouldn't say Australia are completely out of it. There's always a chance. You always got to believe. You can't say we're doomed from the start because you won't get anywhere. You always got to have a positive attitude, no matter how difficult the situation may be. Bumrah's in. This one short. Marsh pulls high and long into the air. It will fall short of Rishabh Pant, who comes around and cuts it off for a dot ball. Not timing that pull shot at all, Mitchell Marsh. Well, Australia need boundaries. They can't afford to have dot balls. They need to score at 10 runs and over. Current run rate is 4. Mitchell Marsh not quite timing that pull shot, or that hook shot, I should say. Just falling short of Pant. Ran across from behind the stumps to short fine leg to field that ball. Bumrah in. This one full. Marsh works it off the outside edge, down to third man for a single. He's off the mark. And Australia are 1 for 8. The Australian supporters watching on. Cheering the Australian team. Bumrah, good over thus far. None for 1 from his first server. Last ball. And he aborts his run-up. Not quite ready, Travis Head. He pulls out. And Bumrah will have to bowl that one again. Mitchell Marsh probably just hurried on that short ball that he missed time from Bumrah a couple of balls ago. Just probably hurried for extra pace a little bit there, or bounce. Bumrah. What can he do? He's in to Head. This one full, and Head drives to cover. There's no runs. Into the over, 1 for 8. Good over from Bumrah. Just the 2 runs from it, the leg by and the single. Australia need 206 to win. Let us know in the chat your thoughts about semi-finals and your predictions of who's going to win the semi-finals and probably win the whole tournament. So we know that India and England are through. South Africa are through. They will play either Australia or Afghanistan in that semi-final. Depends on the results of this game here. But India, can they win the tournament? They've been under pressure for a lot of years. They haven't won an ICC event for a few years now. Can they finally break through? Can England win back-to-back T20 World Cups? Can South Africa break the hoodoo? Arshdeep is in. This one full on the pads, and Marsh flicks it straight to mid-wicket, and there's no run. Or can Afghanistan, if they do qualify, if Australia go down today, can Afghanistan do something? Can they beat South Africa in a semi-final, possibly? You can't discount them after what they did to Australia the other night. All these endless possibilities. But I suppose if Australia go down tonight, I think many people in Australia probably won't care. Arshdeep in, this one full, and swing and a miss by Marsh. Through the keeper, no run. Probably won't care about the result anyway, mainly based because of many Australian cricket supporters don't like T20 cricket. So many people will care about the result. Some others won't if Australia don't go through to the semi-finals. But obviously Australia won the 50-over World Cup last year. So, it is what it is in tournament play. These things happen. But this match, anything can happen still. Arshdeep is in. This one full and pulled by Marsh through mid-wicket for 4. And it'll race into the rope for 4 runs. That's a confident shot from Marsh. Skipper needs to lead from the front. Needs a big score here if he can. It's 1 for 12. Arshdeep just a little bit too short there and easily pulled down to mid-wicket by Marsh. Hit that a little bit aerial, but a safe shot nonetheless, especially in the power play with only 2 fielders out. Mitchell Marsh, he's probably one of the cricketers that I've seen in world cricket that hits a cricket ball so hard than anyone else. He's got a lot of power in the forearms. Arshdeep in. And this one, Marsh drives straight back to Arshdeep. And there's no run. Potentially could have been a chance for a caught and bowled. Maybe a bunt ball. We'll have to see on the replay. But it was hit hard by Mitchell Marsh with such force. Let's have a look. Oh, yeah. It was a chance. Yes. Yes, it was a chance. Marsh hitting that high on the bat. Arshdeep got 2 hands at it, but he couldn't connect the catch. Came so quickly back to him. It was a chance. Arshdeep in. This one full, driven by Marsh. Beats the fielder at point, and it will race away to the boundary for 4. So Australia starting to get their innings motoring after the early wicket of Warner. They're just starting to pick up a couple of boundaries in this over, both of them from Marsh, to get this account underway. Well, Mitchell Marsh, he's had a pretty good few years, I suppose, in terms of his career. And captain of this T20 World Cup as well in this Australian squad. Arshdeep in. This one short and pulled by Marsh with authority over the rope for 6. It's gone into the stand. Reminiscent of Rohit Sharma's pull shots in that first innings. It's gone over the rope for 6. It's the end of the over. It's 1 for 22 after 3. And Australia are starting to kickstart their innings in the right direction. Yep, too short from Arshdeep. He's not going to miss out on that, Mitchell Marsh. He's a very good puller of the ball. And that one into the stand on the leg side. And Axel Patel, judging by his reactions, he wasn't overly happy with that delivery from Arshdeep. So it certainly helped. That leg side of the ground where Mitchell Marsh hit that 6, the wind is blowing in that direction and it just sails over the rope. So with that direction of the wind going across on a diagonal sort of angle on the pitch, so where Marsh is batting in that last over, that leg side, the wind has been most prominent there, and that's why we've seen many 6s sail over the rope in that direction from Rohit Sharma, and obviously now from Mitchell Marsh, is because of that, is because of the wind, which is blowing pretty strongly at the moment in St. Lucia. So it's going to be Bumrah to continue. He's going to bowl his second over here. And Bumrah about to begin the 4th over. Australia 1 for 22. Do or die for Australia, pretty much. Got nothing to lose, really. Travis Head yet to get off the mark. He's about to face Bumrah for this 4th over. He's in Bumrah. This one full and slapped by Head through backward point for 4. Just threw the hands at it. He was short and wide outside off stump. And 4 runs for Travis Head. And he begins his innings off on the right note. Good shot from Travis Head. through the hands at it. You can't give Travis Head width. And he's going to pounce on that. That was too short from Bumrah and wide outside off stump, and Head just threw the hands at it. And he got a boundary for his troubles. Bumrah in to Head. This one short and pulled by Head. Through square leg for another boundary. Back-to-back boundaries for Australia. And back-to-back boundaries for Travis Head. Australia 1 for 30. And the Australian supporters are cheering in the crowd with that boundary from Head. Couple of boundaries. Australia chasing 206. They need a required run rate of 10 runs and over. If they can keep that in check, they're a chance. Bumrah's in at this one. Full and wide outside off stump. Playing a miss by Head through the keeper, no run. One for 30 for Australia. Need a required run rate of 10.66. Already the run rate is 8.5, all thanks to Travis Head. Bumrah in, this one full and wide outside off stump and flashed away through point for 4 again from Travis Head. 3 boundaries on the trot, and Australia are starting to find their mojo in this power play. It was a full toss from Bumrah, just a rank full toss. Outside off stump, and Head got an outside edge when went through backward point, through the hands at it, the width on offer. He happily obliged, and he's already on 12 off 7. Rohit Sharma already issuing the orders. He's throwing the hands everywhere. He's telling fielders to get in the right position. All of a sudden, India will know that we're not home and dry yet. We could be in for a very high-scoring match. Already Australia just starting to get nurturing. Bumrah is in to Head. This one full, and Head works it out to cover for a single. He moves on to 13, 1 for 35. Well, after the early wicket of David Warner, Australia have gotten back on track, that's for sure. Here we go. Last ball, the 4th over. Bumrah in. This one full. Marsh bunts it down the ground to mid-on for a single. It's the end of the over, 1 for 36. Good over from Australia. 3 boundaries in that over from Travis Head. 2 overs remain of the power play. Australia looking to maximise this power play. India at the end of the power play were 1 for 60. Let's double check that just to be sure. Yeah, 1 for 60 after 6, India. So Australia will be hoping to match that or go better in the power play. So Australia, the worm, the Australian worm is together with the India worm on comparison of runs after 4 overs. So they're on that trajectory, which is the important thing. Spin for the first time today. Axel Patel, the left arm spinner, is into the attack, and this one full outside off stump and swept by Marsh, but only to square leg for no run. Axel Patel is in. This one outside off stump, again swept by Marsh to backward square leg for no run. So 2 dot balls from Axel. Mitchell Marsh prefers the pace on the ball, not so much with the spin and the pace off. Patel in. This one short, pulled by Marsh and pulled all the way for 6 over deep backward square leg. Dropping short, Axel. He paid the price. And 6 runs for Marsh. He's 22 off 13. Head 13 off 8. It's 1 for 42. Yeah, too short. Skidded on. Patel in. This one full defended by Marsh. And there's no run. Just a bit too short on that last delivery from Patel, and just set up nicely for Head just to pull that around the corner. Down to a deep backward square leg for 6. Patel is in. This one swept outside off stump by Marsh. Through backward square leg for a boundary. This has been good from the Australian skipper. Showing aggression. Not backing down. 1 for 46 now for Australia. Yeah, just finding his area there, Mitchell Marsh. Not far away from the backward square leg fielder. He dived fully stretched. Kuldeep Yadav nearly got the hand to it, but he couldn't get it in time. Patel in. This one speared in the pads down the leg side, and Marsh will work it out to deep, wide, long on. He'll pick up a single. It's the end of the over. Pick up 2, in fact. End of the over, 1 for 48 after 5. Good over from Australia. So what we can gather from what we've seen thus far across the 2 innings thus far is that both power plays have gone for a lot of runs. That's an obvious statement to make, but it just shows you that this new ball on this surface is definitely the time to score and make use of that. So it's going to be changing the bowling. Hardik Pandya is going to come on. Rohit Sharma has said, come on, bowl an over or 2. Australia 1 for 48 after 5. They need 158 off 90 balls. That's still a lot of runs, but they've got off to a good start. Hardik is in. This one is a short ball and well wide of Travis Head. It goes through to the keeper. It's going to be called a wide by the umpire, so that will help the Australian cause. 1 more run onto the total. Hardik in. This one short. And a play in the miss, an inside edge from Travis Head, and it nearly went back onto the stumps. It goes through to the keeper, and there's no run. So the required rate is 10.5 runs and over. Current run rate for Australia is 9 and over. So they're doing well to stay up with the required rate just about. If you can stay around about 9 runs and over to 10, you're doing a good job. So they're well on track. They've started well, this partnership. After the fall of Warner, has done well. Hardik in. This one full and lofted. Over long on for 6 from Travis Head with wonderful timing and precision. The 50 is up for Australia. It's 1 for 55, and Travis Head is just starting to get into his rhythm now. That's an excellent shot. In the slot, lofted, over long on. And that's not where Hardik Pandya wants to be, especially to Travis Head. You ain't going to miss out on those full deliveries in that area. Hardik in. This one short and pulled by Head through mid-wicket, and he will pick up a single. The mid-wicket fielder will come around and cut that off for the single, and Head moves on to 20. Australia 1 for 56. 50 partnership has come in no time for Australia off 28 balls. Hardik He's going to be bowling to Marsh for the first time of the over. He pulls out of his run. Not quite happy with his run up there, so we have to re-bowl that one again. Just maybe the wind probably put him off his run. Australia need 206 to win. Is that enough from India? Well, you never know if a total's enough until both sides are battered on the surface. So far, so good from Australia. 1 for 56, chasing 206. Hardik is in. This one full on the pads. Marsh works it out to deep backward square leg for a single. No, he'll come back for 2. Good running. He moves on to 30. It's 1 for 58. 2 balls left of the power play. So Australia definitely on par with India at this stage. India were 1 for 60 at the end of the power play. Australia are nearly level with that. They're 1 for 58. So they're on track with India at this stage of the innings, which is indication that they are matching the required run rate required. Hardik is in to Marsh, and this one short of a length, and Marsh just works it out to deep square leg for another single. It's 1 for 59. Marsh 31. Head 20. This partnership well over 50. Australia need to win to secure a semi-final position. Can they do it? Well, they're on track. 53 or 30, this partnership. So they've matched the required run rate. They need 10 runs and over, 10.38. They've matched it, 10.11. So pretty much that required run rate is level pegging at this stage of the innings. So they'll need to keep going. Hard again, this one full in the slot and lofted over wide long on for 6 from Travis Head. What a way to end the power play for Australia. Maximum to finish. It's 1 for 60 after 6, and Australia are not going to surrender easily. Travis Head is starting to flex his muscles, and probably, I think, India will be starting to have some sort of nerves creeping in, especially towards Travis Head after what he did in the World Cup final last year. Not a bad shot to end the over and the power play. Well, it's shaping up to be a high-scoring affair. Don't go anywhere. Australia 1 for 65 at the end of the power play. India were 1 for 60. So Australia are ahead by 5 runs after the power play. So that's a good place to be in when you're chasing 206. An Australian supporter with his flag cheering on the boys. So it's going to be Kuldeep Yadav into the attack. So Axel Patel off, Kuldeep in, the leg spinner. Left arm leg spinner. And he's going to be bowling to Marsh. This one on the pad, so Marsh just works it out to a short fine leg. Ashdeep Singh does the fielding, and there's no run. Jihan, who's actually there in St. Lucia, offering us reports. He says, that head 6 literally just landed over me. I lost it in the air and ducked, thinking it might hit me, but thankfully, it carried a few further meters. Maybe you saw me in the crowd. I didn't quite see you, Jihan, but geez, that 6 of when Travis hit it off the last serve was definitely a big 6, that's for sure. So luckily you ducked for cover there. A couple of runs there for Marsh, and he moves on to 33. But definitely it was a big 6. Probably one of the best shots we've seen today. Kuldeep in. This one on leg stump. Marsh attempted to sweep, missed it altogether, collected him on the pad, but it was well outside leg, and there's no run. But it's certainly heating up, that's for sure, this game. All of a sudden, we've got a contest on our hands. That one hit Mitchell Marsh on the pad on the full, but it was well outside leg stump anyway. Obviously, Kuldeep, the left-arm leg spinner bowling. left arm over the wicket to the right-hander in Marsh. So he needed to pitch that ball on off stump or middle stump for an LBW, spin it back into Marsh. But now then, the physio is going to come onto the ground. I think Mitchell Marsh wants some attention after that delivery. I think just wants some attention by the physio, just something that's probably bothering him a little bit. So he'll get that attention and get that sorted out, whatever that problem may be. Jihan says, that's the closest the ball's ever got to me being in the crowd. Well, I can imagine it's a pretty sort of full-on sort of experience, isn't it? When you see a big six being hit in the crowd and you're near that area. Kuldeep is in. This one short outside off stump. Marsh works it out to deep cover for a single. And he moves on to 34, 1 for 67. Sorry, 1 for 68. But yes, thank you for the updates, Jihan. Of course, you're at the ground there in St. Lucia. Wonderful atmosphere. Just seeing from the pictures, wonderful atmosphere. Kuldeep is in. This one on the stumps and head backs away to outside leg stump. Gives himself room to access the offside, but he can only hit it to cover and there's no run. Kuldeep in. This one on the stumps and head works it out to cover, deep cover, in fact, and he'll pick up an easy single, just jog through that single. That's the end of the over, 1 for 69. Australia on track. It's a good start, really good start after 7 overs, 1 for 69. This partnership has to take it deep for Australia. Jihan says, I'm to the right of the guy with the flag. Are you, Jihan? Well, I probably did see you on the pictures because I did see someone carrying a flag. And I probably saw you a little bit in the distance there. If that's the case, well, I saw you on TV, Jihan, so that's good. But I did see someone with the flag, so... It's going to be Hardik Pandya to continue. None for 17 from his first server. And Head and Marsh going along nicely. Head on strike. He's 27 off 14. Marsh, 34 off 22. Hardik in. This one full. Outside off stump and driven by Head. Out to deep cover. He'll pick up a couple of runs. He moves on to 29. 1 for 71 for Australia. It's a really good start by Australia. They've kept up the rates. They've pegging this back. And all of a sudden, things have changed in the last few overs. It looks a belter of a pitch. Looks pretty good for batting. Easily paced. Hardik in. This one. Full and wide outside off stump. Head drives it. Straight back down the ground for 4. And he will pick up a boundary. 4 runs onto the turtle. Australia 1 for 75. That one just sort of slapped by Travis Head. Sort of a front foot sort of pull shot. Slapped down the ground. Off the toe end of the bat, just about. And picked up 4 runs. Travis Head, he can change games in a matter of minutes. And obviously, I'm a bit biased because Travis Head's from South Australia, and that's where I'm from. And good to see a South Australian getting the job done. And he's doing a good job here, Travis Head. And nervous looks on the faces of the Indian team. Really, for India, it doesn't really matter if they lose today. They're pretty much through to the semis. Hardik is in. This one short again, pulled by Head, and it's pulled all the way for 6. Over deep mid-wicket. It's another maximum. 1 for 81. Travis Head is starting to get motoring. Rohit Sharma looking concerned. Travis Head, too short from Hardick and picked up nicely from Travis Head over deep mid wicket. This pitch looks pretty good. Jihan says, to be honest, I'm happy Australia are making a fifth of this. Should no way be chasing 205, but if they fall 10 short, I'll be disappointed, but we'll have enjoyed the experience. Absolutely, Jihan. I couldn't agree more. But they're on track. They're really on track to do this. Hardick is in. This one short, Head flashes it high and long into the sky. Will fall short of Rohit Sharma on the offside at cover. And he'll pick up a single. Travis Head just throwing his hands at everything. Australia 1 for 82. Jihan says, I'm wearing an Aussie shirt and cap and Oakleys. Yes, I'm pretty sure I did see you, Jihan, on the pictures. I'm pretty sure I did. But there was someone in the crowd looking like you. So, that's good. Glad that you're enjoying the experience. Wonderful atmosphere there at the ground. Just judging from the pictures and everyone really getting into this now. We've got a contest on our hands. Australia making a good fight of this. They will not back down, Australia. We know what Australia would do, that fighting spirit. Their backs up against the wall. They have to win. If they win, they go through to the semis. If they don't, that's pretty much the end of the line. But they're making a good effort of this. Hardick is in. This one short. And Marsh ducks away from this short delivery. And it will go through to the keeper. No run. That's the one bouncer for the over. And Australia well on track to definitely get close or chase down these runs. There's a possibility that they can do this. All of a sudden, win predictor having Australia 57% to India's 42%. Things have changed quickly. Hardick in. This one short, pulled by Marsh. And he'll only get a single to deep wide long off. Long on. It's the end of the over. It's 1 for 83 after 8. 1 for 83 after 8. So after 8 overs of this match, comparison, Australia are behind India. India were 2 for 93 at this stage. Australia 1 for 83. So they're only 10 runs behind at this stage, which is not a bad place to be. And Australia well on track to chase down these runs. So they need 123 off 72, Australia. So that rate's slowly coming down. The required rate is 10 and over. They're already matching that with their current run rate at the moment. So only 10 runs the difference. Kuldeep is in. This one full on the stumps, and Marsh just drives it down to wide mid-on, which Kuldeep Yadav will do the fielding and he'll pick up a single. 1 for 84 for Australia, 36 for Marsh, Head on 40. He's on strike. Jihan says, and just to report, it's hot and sunny right now. I struggle with the heat in Barbados, but there's a nice breeze here. Well, that's good to hear that there is a nice breeze there, Jihan. This one, Kuldeep is in and Head works it out to a deep point for a single. And he moves on to 41. Yes, well, there is a nice breeze just coming across the ground there, seen with the flags. So that's good. You get a little bit of relief from the heat. But good to see no rain. And there was talk about rain today. So good to see the rain has stayed away. And it's shaping up to be a very good game. Kuldeep is in, and this one is a play and a miss by Head through the keeper. And there's no run. But there was an appeal for stumping. Rishabh Pant through the stumps, removed the bails, but I think Mitchell Marsh's back foot was well inside the crease. So he doesn't look too troubled and he doesn't look too concerned. Jihan says, but that was literally coming straight into Barbados from Perth, from the Perth winter. My body's probably acclimatized now, but definitely more comfortable than Barbados. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Obviously, when you're coming from winter to sort of a hot summer climate, your body can take a little bit of time to adjust. That's for sure. So not out on that stumping, and Marsh survives. Kuldeep in, this one short, outside of stump, and Marsh pulls it straight to the fielder at long on, and he'll pick up a single. So Australia, they need 10 runs and over. So the current run rate is 9.92 runs per over. The required rate is 10.58 runs to the over. So they are matching the rate ever so slightly. Kuldeep is in, and this one worked by head to deep square leg for another single. So it's good from Australia just to rotate the strike. If you're not getting boundaries, look to score. Look to be proactive. You don't want to be facing dot balls. You don't want to be stagnating. You don't want to be bogged down. That was the word I was looking for, especially in T20 cricket. Kuldeep is in. This one short, pulled off the stumps by Marsh and straight over the fielder's head. Oh, he's taken the catch. What a catch. What a catch that is. Axel Patel, a deep backward square leg, has taken an absolute blinder. For a moment there, I thought it went over his head for 6, but it didn't. He pouched it. And Marsh has to go for 37. India get the big wicket. The partnership is broken. Marsh has to go. What a catch that is. It was dragged down from Kuldeep. It was too short. Good option from Marsh to pull that, but not enough elevation. It was a one-handed grab as well from Axel Patel. What a catch. For a moment there, I thought that ball was going to go over his head for 6. Not quite. Marsh has got to go. He'll be disappointed. He's gone for 37. It's 2 for 87 after 9 overs. But more importantly, his partnership with Travis Head has got Australia on track to chase down these runs and make something happen. They need 119 off 66. And when you're chasing 10 runs and over in the modern day game, I think many players will say, yep, that's achievable. But what a catch from Axel Patel. We've seen some fantastic fielding in this game. Well, certainly in this tournament. Jihan says, is that the match-winning catch? Well, it's certainly one of those pivotal moments. But there's still a lot of cricket to go. Glenn Maxwell arrives to the crease. He made a good half-century in the game against Afghanistan. Can he come out and form a partnership with Head? Obviously, Travis Head is still out there, 42. Glenn Maxwell's just arrived at the crease after Mitchell Marsh departed. Magnificent catch by Axel Patel, a deep backward square leg. But more importantly, Australia are still in this game. They've got a chance to chase down 205. They will believe, they will keep fighting, they will not give up, they will not surrender. And for India, they needed that wicket just to calm the nerves a bit. Hardik in, this one too short, wide outside of stump, and Head cuts it away to the boundary for 4. That's another poor delivery from Hardik Pandya. You can't be feeding width to Travis Head. He will just pounce on it. He's on 46 off 21. It's 2 for 91. Yeah, too short, wide, outside off stump. And the angle across, Hardik Pandya obviously bowling right arm over the wicket to the left-hander and Head. The angle across. You can't be afford to be off with your line and length, especially the Head. You can't be too wide. And that's what's happened there. So Australia are definitely keeping up with the rate. The important thing is for Australia is to keep, hitting the boundaries in the over, but also making sure that you're up with that required rate. Hardik is in, this one a full toss. This one full and driven outside of stump by Head, straight to Rohit Sharma at cover for no run. That was hit hard with some power, but Rohit Sharma was up to the task and fielded that ball with all his energy. So 115 off 64 for Australia. They're keeping up with the rate. They're staying in there. They're hanging in there. Looking at the catch from Axel Patel, that was a fantastic catch to get rid of Mitchell Marsh. Hardick is in to head. This one, a play and a miss by Head through the keeper, no run. He went to try and pull that, Travis Head, but he pulled out at the last minute and he let it go to the keeper for no run. Just having a look at that catch again from Axel Patel. He was inside the rope by a few meters, but still that ball was looking like it was going to go over the rope. But he stuck out the one hand and he took a sensational catch. And Mitchell Marsh will be unlucky. And he should be. That should have gone for 6. But anyway, Hardick is in. This one full and lofted by, misfield. Oh, dear, that's sloppy. Oh, dear. Axel Patel, we were just complimenting his wonderful catch, but then he produces some very ordinary fielding. That one went through his hands, burst through his hands at mid-wicket for 4 runs, and that will bring up the half century for Travis Head in the process. Just having a look at the replay. Yeah, poor from Axel Patel. The ball bounced, should have saved it, burst through his hands, went to the mid-wicket boundary for 4. 50 for Travis Head. He's doing a Rohit Sharma. He's 50 off 24, so he's recreating what Rohit Sharma did. 2 for 95. Hardick is in. And this one worked by Head off the outside edge, down to third man for 4. Back-to-back boundaries for Travis Head and Australia. They're 2 for 99. 54 off 25 for Head. Australia are making a good fist of this. They need 107 off 61. Are we in for one of those thrilling tight finishes? Well, let's see. Let's see. Not a good over from Hardik Pandya. It's been very expensive. Thus far, he's conceded over 40 runs in his 3 overs. This is his last ball of the third. He's into Head. This one, a play and a miss by Head through the keeper, no run. It's the end of the over. Good over from Australia. It's 2 for 99. 10 overs completed. It's time for drinks. 10 overs remain, and it's time for a drinks break. It's time for both teams just to reassess and to see where they're at the halfway point. And also it gives me a good opportunity just to rest a little bit, because this game is all of a sudden starting to provide a very exciting conclusion. So drinks, Australia 2 for 99 after 10. 10 overs remain. They're on track to chase down 206. It will be one of the highest run chasers in this T20 World Cup this year. And it's a pretty good pitch in St. Lucia here at the Daren Sammy National Cricket Stadium, named after current West Indian coach and former T20 World Cup winning captain in Daren Sammy. But thanks everyone for joining us, wherever you may be. I hope everyone is enjoying what has been an exciting game of cricket. We've seen some high run scoring. We've seen some very good batting on both sides. Thanks everyone for joining us, wherever you may be, joining us from around the world. 2 for 99 after 10, and Australia are giving themselves a good chance of chasing 206 after India made 5 for 205. They need 107 off 60 balls, which can be achievable in this modern day game. Players are not fazed by the required run rate going over 10 or more. Jadeja into the attack for the first time, and his first boundary, his first ball goes to the boundary for 4. Glenn Maxwell gets off the mark with a boundary, and the runs continue to flow for Australia. Jadeja brought into the attack already under pressure with the first ball of his first over. Glenn Maxwell. Jadeja in, reverse sweep, and 4. Glenn Maxwell hits it for 6 in the end. The reverse sweep, and it's gone for 6, the switch hit. And Glenn Maxwell is starting to provide some entertainment. Yep, very good. You know, facing Jadeja, the left arm spinner. Play that switch hit. Turn yourself into a left-hander, and that's what he did, Maxwell. This one full into the pads. Worked out by Maxwell to mid-wicket. Jadeja does his own fielding off his own bowling. He'll cut it off for a single. It's 2 for 110. Australia need 96 off 57 to keep the semi-final hopes alive and keep their dream of winning this T20 World Cup alive as well. But this game, no doubt, has provided some entertainment. Jadeja is in. And this one worked by head outside off stump to deep backward point for a single. It's 2 for 111. Head 55 of 27. Well, India, they're under a bit of pressure. And Australia just are starting to apply the pressure to India here. It's a pretty good track. Glenn Maxwell already 11 off 3. He's hit the 4 and the 6 in this over. Jadeja in, switch hit again from Maxwell. Same result. It will go to the boundary for 4. Glenn Maxwell, he's a very destructive player. He's very dangerous, as we know. He's played 2 switch hits in the over, or reverse sweeps, or laps. And he's a very good player of that shot. He's played that shot so many times over his career, and he nailed it again. Backward point and third man up inside the circle. It's a safe shot. It's a good option, especially to the left arm spinner and Jadeja. Jadeja in, and Maxwell attempted to pull this delivery. Didn't quite time it. Got into an awful tangle. He'll work out to the offside for a single, and he moves on to 15 off 4. 2 for 116. 90 off 54 required for Australia at the end of the 11th over. It's 2 for 116. Australia are definitely not backing down without a fight. They're giving themselves a good chance. India, all of a sudden, looked a little bit frazzled, under the pump a little bit. And Australia, favourites to win on the win predictor, according to ESPN Crick Info. How things can change quickly. It's a good pitch, good surface. Well, the Indian bowlers, Ashdeep's gone for 10. Axel Patel's gone for 12. Hardik's gone for 14. So runs are being leaked left, right and centre by India. It's Kuldeep Yadav. He's the only one who's had some sort of control in the Indian bowling attack today. He's into Maxwell. This one on the pads. Maxwell sweeps to deep backward square leg, and he'll pick up a single. And he moves on to 17, 2 for 117. Travis Head on strike. He's done pretty well, Travis Head, in this innings. 55 off 27. Scored a 50-odd against Bangladesh in the first game of the Super 8s for Australia. And he's got another 50. Yeah, Kuldeep in. And this one driven back down the ground by Head. He'll pick up a single. Long on will cut it off. And he moves on to 56. Kuldeep in. And this one on the pads. Maxwell attempts to pull it. Mistimed. And the ball will just trickle out in front of Maxwell. Back down the pitch, and there's no run. Let us know in the comments your thoughts, which way this game is going. Kuldeep is in. Reverse lap by Maxwell down to deep backward point. He'll pick up just the one. He moves on to 18. It's 2 for 119. Australia need 87 off 50 balls. So they're matching that required rate. They're matching the rate, Australia. This game possibly could be going down to the wire. Kuldeep is in to head. This one full and head defends to cover, and there's no run. One ball left of the 12th over. So if Australia have a couple of big overs here and there, get that required run rate down, get it under 10, and they'll be very happy. 87 or 49. He's Kuldeep in. This one tossed up, outside off stump, lofted by Head, over long off's head for 6. Travis Head doing what he does best. What a way to end the over. It's the end of the over. It's 2 for 125. And Australia are well on track to chase down 206. They're making a good fight of this, as you would expect. They need 81 or 48. Australia on the win predictor. 67% compared to India's 32% chance of winning this game. So definitely it has swung around dramatically. 81 of 48. So the win predictor on the broadcast still has India in front, 55% to Australia's 45%. ESPN Cricket provides a different figure when it comes to the probability of winning. So anyway, Australia matching the current run rate, 10 runs and over. They require 10 runs to the over. Current run rate is 10.42. So it's going to be Axel Patel into the attack. Jadeja just the one over and he's off. Axel Patel back into the attack. None for 12 from his first. He's in to Maxwell. This one short outside off stump, cut by Maxwell, but he can't beat short third man, and there's no run. Axel in, and this one outside off stump and pulled by Maxwell to deep backward square leg. He'll pick up a single. 80 of 46 for Australia. To win and to keep their semi-final hopes alive. Axel Patel. Into Head. This one outside off stump and cut by Head, but only to backward point. There's no run. The Australian supporters looking cheerful. Probably the Indian supporters at the ground, maybe a little bit nervous. Axel in. This one outside off stump and Head just drives it and works it out to deep point for an easy single. 2 for 127. Australia matching the required run rate. So here we go, Axel. It's in. This one outside off stump. Maxwell fetches it outside off stump and works it to deep mid-wicket. And he will pick up a single. So good over from Axel Patel, just the 4 from it. But Australia will be looking for a couple of big overs here. More importantly, keep the scoreboard ticking over. That's the main thing. Even when you're not scoring boundaries, keep the scoreboard ticking. Axar, but in. This one outside off stump, and Head works it to cover, and there's no runs. Into the over 2 for 128. Australia have chased down 200 before in T20 internationals. So it's not the first time that they're daunted with a task of this magnitude. They've done it before. I remember that T20 match that they played against New Zealand in that try series in 2017-18, where they chased down 200 against New Zealand. And David Warner and Darcy Short went off. And yes, it was Darcy Short, and that partnership went off and provided the platform for Australia and provided the victory. So they're more than capable of chasing 200, Australia. They've done it before in T20 cricket. It's not the first time today that they are daunted by that task. Kuldeep is back. He's in, and this one's bowled him. It's bowled Maxwell. Maxwell advanced down the wicket, and the ball went onto the pads and went back onto the stumps. Maxwell gone for 20 off 12. It's 3 for 128. But I suppose Glenn Maxwell did his job in some sort of capacity. Provided a quick fire cameo. Unfortunately, just got beaten by Kuldeep Yadav. Advanced down the wicket, got deceived. And he has to go, Maxwell. He's gone for 20, 3 for 128. But more importantly for Australia, his innings, 20 runs, crucial. He'll be disappointed. But Marcus Stoinis, who's been in good form in this tournament, comes out to the middle. And he will join Travis Head. And these two put on a very good partnership against Scotland in that game. They added nearly over 100 runs or so. Stoinis and Head in that partnership against Scotland. So they come back out here in a sort of similar situation compared to the game against Scotland. They're in a sort of similar situation here against India. So they'll combined and look to get it done. Marcus Stoinis has had a pretty good T20 World Cup, averaging 55. And he will be out there joining Travis Head on strike. Glenn Maxwell just departed after being bowled by Kuldeep Yadav, who's the only Indian bowler that's done a reasonable job today. Kuldeep is in. This one full and defended on the front foot by Stoinis, and there's no run. Well, he's been the only bowler, Kuldeep, that's been economical today. All the other Indian bowlers have gone for runs dramatically. Him and Axel Patel have been economical. Kuldeep is in, and Stoinis works it down to long on to get off the mark, and will pick up a single. So Australia still in this. They're in with a chance. More importantly. So the run rate's just climbed to 11. They've had a few quiet overs with the spin on. But more importantly, they've picked up the singles here and there. So they haven't let the scoreboard drift away. Kuldeep is in. And this one short, pulled outside off stump by Head. Through mid-wicket for 4. That's the boundary that Australia needed in the over, and Travis Head delivered. As long as Travis Head's there, Australia have got a chance of chasing these runs down. He's on 67. And Kuldeep just a little bit too short, and Travis Head pounced on that in a flash. Runs are being scored at will in this game. Geez, it's been a high-scoring affair. Australia needs 72, 73, 38. Kuldeep is in. This one on the stumps, and Head backs away outside leg stump. He works it out to deep point. He'll just pick up the one, though. Nonetheless, he's still out there, still getting the job done. So, India, they'll be, well, going in the halfway mark. They would have said 206 is plenty, but I suppose in the modern day game, 206 is probably not enough. Looks a pretty good surface from what we are seeing. Kuldeep about to bowl the last ball of his 4 overs, and he's done pretty well, 2 for 23. He's in to Stoinis. This one on leg stump. Stoinis works it off his pads through square leg for a single. End of the over, end of the spell for Kuldeep. It's 3 for 135. Six overs remain. Australia. 6 overs separates them and a semi-final place. They need 71 off 36. A couple of big overs here will change the equation. So the run rate at the moment, the current run rate is 9.64. The required rate is 11.83. And Australia need a couple of big overs here and there to do it. Kuldeep Yadav, economical today. India definitely feeling the pressure. This game is not over by any stretch of the imagination. A lot of cricket to be played in the next 6 overs. 71 off 36 for Australia. A couple of big overs here. A couple of big sixes. Patel is in. Reverse sweep from Stoinis. And he's out. He's hit it straight to backward point. What was Marcus Stoinis doing? He's hit it straight down Hardik Pandya's throat at backward point, and that's not what Australia needed. He's disappointed in himself. He's gone for 2. It's 4 for 135. I can see why he played that shot. The option there, backward point up inside the circle, but he didn't quite get it wide enough of the fielder. And he's hit it straight down his throat. So Axar Patel picks up the wicket. But Stoinis, he walks off. He'll be disappointed. But he's had a pretty good T20 World Cup for Australia. He's scored some runs. He's taken wickets in the process. So Tim David's got to do something. Plain and simple for Australia today. They cannot lose. If they lose, and they've got to hope that Bangladesh beats Afghanistan, which is highly unlikely. But Australia, as long as Travis Head is out there, he's 68 off 35. Australia have got a chance. He's the set batter. They need 12 and over. But 71 off 35, that can quickly change in a matter of minutes. If you have a couple of big overs here and there, that can definitely change in a matter of minutes. As we've seen on this pitch today, the bowlers have gone for a lot of runs at times. So Tim David, he's more than capable. He's got to join Travis Head. He's on strike. This one full and driven by David, but he can't get it past cover, and there's no run. 71 off 34 required for Australia. Travis Head still out there at 68 off 35. Axar in. This one, plain a miss by David for the keeper, no run. Tempted cut shot, but couldn't connect, and a dot ball. So it's a third over for Axar Patel. 2.3 overs. He's bowled economically. Patel is in. This one full, driven by David. He's off the mark, down to long off. Pick up a single. Australia, what we do know from them is that they're not going to surrender. They're going to give it a good almighty fight, that's for sure. Give it a good go. See what can happen. Axel is in. This one short, outside off stump. Head works it out to the cover boundary for 4. So the runs are still flowing for Travis Head. And as long as he's there, Australia have hope and optimism that they can chase down this total of 206. They're 4 for 140. And if anyone's saying this game is far from over, well, think again, because Travis Head's got other things on his mind. That one just eluding the fielder. Axel in. This one again outside off stump. Head slaps it down to long off for a single. It's the end of the over. 4 for 141. 15 overs have been bowled. 5 overs remain. Game on still. Anyone can win this game. Either India or Australia, they're a good chance. Could be a super over. You never know. Possibilities. Endless possibilities. But Travis Head, 73 off 37, playing a Rohit Sharma type innings as we serve from Rohit Sharma. So Head and Rohit Sharma, following similar patterns in terms of their innings. 5 overs left. Matthew Wade in next, followed by Cummins and Stark. They can give it a biff. But I think they would like Travis Head and Tim David to form a big partnership here and wrap it up. So it's going to be Ashdeep Singh who's going to come back into the attack. 1 for 20 from his 2. He's in now to Head. This one full, outside off stunt. Head smashes it to Rohit Sharma at cover, and there's no run. Rohit Sharma doing a very good job there at cover to cut that off to the boundary. 65 of 29 for Australia. So they need a couple of big overs here. That run rate's 13 and over. It's plain and simple for Australia. They have to win today. They can't rely on Bangladesh beating Afghanistan, which is like highly unlikely, given how well Afghanistan have been playing. Ashdeep is in. This one, a big swing from Head. He probably got an inside edge on that. It eludes Rishabh Pant behind the stumps, and it goes to the boundary for 4. And it goes for 4 byes, in fact. It missed everything. Missed the stumps, missed the bat. Pant couldn't cut it off. 4 extra runs for Australia. They'll definitely take that. They'll definitely be happy with the 4 byes. Especially Travis Head. He was swinging. (61 of 28). Ashdeep in to Head. This one full, and Head drives to wide long on, and he'll pick up a single. He moves on to 74 of 40. It's been a very good innings from Travis Head, and his highest score of the tournament thus far. So Australia doing their best to chase down these runs. But more importantly, they want to think about winning this game, believe that they can win from any position. A couple of big overs here and there could change the course of the match. They need 60 off 27, Australia. They need a couple of big overs. Ashdeep is in to David. This one full on the pads, and David works it to cover, and there's no run. Here we go, Ashdeep in. This one short pulled by David. Out to deep square leg. He'll pick up a single. More importantly, he'll get Travis Head back on strike. He's 74 of 40. Australia 4 for 147. Last ball of the 16th over. And Australia definitely making a good fist of it, regardless of the result. Whatever happens, happens. They've only got themselves to blame, Australia. They shouldn't have lost that game against Afghanistan. They were very off in that game. If they do go on to lose today, one bad day pretty much ended their tournament. And that's what happens in this format. Ashdeep pulled away. Probably the wind just disturbing his run-up. And he will have to re-bowl that one again. 59 off 25. So Australia get a couple of boundaries here and there, a couple of big overs, a couple of overs that go for plenty. They're still within a chance. There's always a chance. And I think as long as Travis Head's out there, Australia will still believe. Ashdeep is in. This one full, and Head works it out to square leg. He'll pick up a single and retain the strike. It's the end of the over. 4 for 148. 4 overs remain. 4 overs remain in this game. Can Australia do it? Can India hold on and defend? We'll find out in 4 overs from now. But thanks everyone for joining us. If you've joined us for the whole entire stream, thanks everyone for joining us. And I hope you're enjoying the match wherever you're watching it from. Travis Head, leading run scorer in this T20 World Cup, 254 runs and counting, which is a pretty good tally from Travis Head. I had Travis Head as my leading run scorer of the tournament, so it's good to see him on top of the list. 58 of 24. As long as Travis Head's out there, Australia out of chance. He'll be on strike. Head, you probably need this over to go for plenty, but it's going to be Bumrah. He's been brought back on by Rohit Sharma. So Bumrah into Head. This one short, pulled by Head out to deep square leg. Sorry, deep mid wicket. And he'll pick up a single. 57 off 23 for Australia. So they need a couple of big blows to go over the boundary. But players are not really daunted by these sort of tasks, I suppose. The way that T20 cricket has developed. Bumrah in. This one full. David works it off his pads down to deep long on. He'll pick up a single. That will bring up the 150 for Australia. They need 56 of 22. Bumrah into Head. This one full on the stumps and high and long into the air and taken by Rohit Sharma. That's the end of Travis Head, and that's probably the end of Australia's T20 World Cup as well. They're 5 for 150. And Travis Head needed to stay at the end to get the job done. But unfortunately for him and for Australia, it looks like this T20 World Cup is done. Australia gave it a good go, but India too good on the day. And 206 will be a very tough ask. He's got to go ahead. He made 76 or 43. Well, technically, Australia probably not out of semi-final contention, but they will need Bangladesh to do them a big favour and defeat Afghanistan. That could be possible. But highly unlikely given how Afghanistan have played over the last couple of games or so. Especially the win against Australia has definitely boosted their confidence. Matthew Wade arrives at the crease. And Australia, they've only got themselves to blame, really. The game against Afghanistan, they had one bad day. And that pretty much ruins your tournament, really. But if they can get close to 206, I suppose at the end of the day, they gave it a good fight. But India just too strong. Bumrah in. This one full outside off stump. Wade drives to backward point to pick up a single. Thinking about two, but they decide just the single is enough. That's 5 for 151. And David will be on strike. He's on 3. Jihan says, is that it? Nail in coffin type stuff? Well, Jihan, they're still not out of it. I think, they will need Bangladesh to beat Afghanistan. And the odds of that happening are probably slim. So for Australia, it's probably curtains, I think. This one a swing and a miss by David through the keeper, no run. It's unlikely. Afghanistan are a good chance and to go through to the semis because they'll probably beat Bangladesh later on today. So anyway, Rasafan says head out, Australia out. Well, So you never know. This game ain't over yet. Bumrah in. This one on the pads, and David works it out to mid-wicket, just for one. Jihan says they need to take it deep. Yeah, 3 overs left, 55 of 19, 53 of 18 at the end of the 17th over. Anything is still possible with David out there and Matthew Wade. We know what Tim David can do. So, we've seen things happen from funny positions. But, yeah. So 53 off 18 required for Australia. They got 3 overs left. What can they do in the 3 overs? It's going to be Matthew Wade who's going to take strike. He's just asking for his guard by the umpire, and he scratches it. Probably the last time we'll see Matthew Wade in a T20 shirt for Australia, along with David Warner as well. Jihan says, these two, a game like this with 100 to win a couple of years ago. And a wicket has fallen, and that is the end of Matthew Wade. He's sliced it straight to the fielder at short third man. He's gone. Australia are 6 for 153. Ashdeep picks up his second. Now the umpire is going to have a look to see if the catch carried or not. Matthew Wade not going anywhere. Clearly off the bat. Clearly India think it was out. Rasafan says Afghanistan created history, qualified for the semis. They haven't qualified officially yet. They still need to win against Bangladesh for that to be confirmed. But, Afghanistan have, played really good cricket in this T20 World Cup, and they have. So just have a look at the catch, see if it carried or not. Ooh. I think he got the fingers underneath it, the fielder. Kuldeep Yadav. I think it was. And Nasafan says, nice batting from Travis Head. It was a pretty good innings from Head. But, if Australia get close and finish in a high-scoring match, I suppose that's an okay result. But I suppose T20 World Cups, you can't afford to have a bad day. And Australia had a bad day against Afghanistan. And that can happen to anyone, especially in the Super 8. So, Australia didn't win the last T20 World Cup 2 years ago. Australia didn't win. They didn't qualify for the semis. So I suppose, this format of the game, that catch carried easily. So Wade has to go. India, this is the thing. India winning all these games, and then all of a sudden they go to the final and probably lose. That could happen again. I think Jihan said that's it. We're done. I can't stand the Indian fans anymore. Rasafan says Bangladesh is easy opponent. Afghanistan easily. Well, you never know. Bangladesh, they're unpredictable. So, but Afghanistan probably now will be, more determined to put in a good performance later on today. Gian says, I might head home. Well, I suppose, Gian, you're over there. You might as well watch the final, even though Australia's not there, but it's a good experience. As I said, these things happen. T20 cricket, you have one bad day in a tournament, it can change the course of your tournament, especially in this format. And Australia didn't play well against Afghanistan, and that's what happened. It's not the end of the world. It's not like the world's ended that Australia haven't qualified for a semi-final. They didn't qualify for the semi-final 2 years ago. That's another catch. That's another wicket, I think. No, it's not. They get a single, and Pat Cummins gets off the mark. But quite simply, India were too good today. Rohit Sharma in particular. And I suppose this was bound to happen once Australia lost against Afghanistan. It sort of has a carry-on effect to the next game. You know, you're coming up against India, who've played really good in this tournament. And then all of a sudden, you know, you're coming up against them who, you know, have been playing really well. And Rohit Sharma plays an absolute blinder. This one playing a miss by David, pull shot. It's got to be called a wide. New World Cricket says, Joey says Australia is done. Sorry, I almost feel bad. Jihan says, no, it's not the end of the world. It's the end of my world. Well, you know, look, at the end of the day, cricket is cricket. It's a game. It's not the be-all, end-all. That's the perspective that I look at it. It's disappointing. Of course, that's 4 runs there by David. Something for Australia to cheer about. But I suppose that's just the way it is. Look, you know, I suppose, you know, in saying that, seeing that Australia will lose this game, you would think Afghanistan will win against Bangladesh. You know, I suppose, you know, from an Australian perspective, they'll be disappointed. But you just got to say that's just the way it goes in T20 cricket. You have one bad day in a tournament like this, which they did against Afghanistan. That's what's going to happen. And you just got to cop it on the chin and say, yeah, we weren't up to the mark. So, oh, well, that's the way it goes. India, too good. Maybe it's the year that India win this T20 World Cup. Who knows? They've got other teams like England and South Africa and possibly Afghanistan. Don't discount Afghanistan. I won't be surprised if Afghanistan beat South Africa in that semi-final. Because we know India will play England. And it will probably be a rematch of what happened 2 years ago in that semi-final where India got beaten by 10 wickets by England. That's a possibility on the cards. This one's high and long into the air. It's going to be over the rope for 6 from David. So something for Australia to cling on to. But yeah, but I suppose you want to see that. You want to see, you know, different teams win World Cups and T20 World Cups. It gets kind of boring after a while when Australia keep winning everything. You know, I really want to see South Africa win for a change, or, you know, someone different. You know, South Africa haven't won a T20 World Cup or a World Cup in their history. So it'll be nice for them to win one. And they could do that. And I hope they do. I do have a bit of South African heritage, of course, with my family. But I would like to see South Africa or someone else win. Maybe Afghanistan. Maybe they could win the whole tournament. They're more than likely to do it. You know, they've got a good chance. So for Australia, yeah, it wasn't to be. It is what it is. That's just the way the game goes. You know, there's always another T20 World Cup in 2 years' time. So it is what it is. That's the end of the over. No, not quite. It's another wicket. David's gone. He's gone. Ashdeep picks up another one. This one, a full toss. He was trying to work it to the leg side, got a leading edge, got an outside edge and went straight to short, third man. Jihan says this is basically David against India now. Well, he's pretty much gone as Stark comes to the middle. Gone for 15. It's 7 for 166. Mitchell Stark. Australia 40 off 13 balls they need to win, which looks obviously very unlikely now. 206, just a bit too difficult for them. There we go. So single to the end of the over. It's the end of the over. And Australia, 2 overs left. Not likely to chase down these runs at the end of the day. So there we go. Well, I suppose we might as well end the stream there. I've been live for nearly 4 hours. But just wanted to say thank you, everyone, for joining us. And I hope everyone had a good time today on the stream. Obviously, for Australia, not the result that they would have wanted. They needed to win to ensure that their semi-final hopes were alive. But today, India, too good. 205 they made. Too good in the end. Australia were always going to be up against it in the run chase. But, Australia, 160 odd, they've given it a good fight. And I suppose that's what you want to see, really. But India, too strong. They've been playing some good cricket in this T20 World Cup and deserve their victory today. For Australia, they'll look back and say, yep, we played good cricket up front in the tournament, but the game against Afghanistan was one bad day that we had that we shouldn't have had. And that's pretty much cost us a place in the semi-finals. And it has, really. Because if they won that game against Afghanistan, they would have been pretty much qualified for the semi-finals, really, but they haven't. So, and for Afghanistan, they're more than likely to qualify for the semi-finals now, which I suppose in a way is sort of a good thing for the game of cricket, I suppose, seeing different teams into semi-finals and all that. So that's just the way it goes, I suppose. But they'll be disappointed, Australia. I suppose that, the last T20 World Cup, they didn't make it to the semi-finals either. And this T20 World Cup, the same has happened again in the Caribbean and the USA. But I suppose that's just the way it goes. Not the end of the world, as Pat Cummins hits a big 6. But, we shall see what happens. The game against Afghanistan and Bangladesh, obviously, some situations and scenarios to play out there. Other than that, Australia will be hoping that they can get into the semi-finals in some shape or form. I suppose, try and get past on net run rate as well when it comes to that. But anyway, 32 of 8 balls. Mitchell Marsh will be disappointed. The Australian team will be disappointed. I suppose that's the thing, really, when you play so well up front in the tournament and then you have one bad game, it can really quickly derail things quickly. And that's what's happened. But, that's the way it goes in this format, T20 cricket. That's just how it goes. Not the end of the world. But I suppose Australia looking to try and bat out the 20 overs if they can, not get bowled out. 7 for 175. Pat Cummins and Stark out there. So I think Australia will just be hoping to bat out the overs, make sure that, we make sure we bat out the overs for net run rate. Because you never know. Bangladesh may beat Afghanistan. So you got to keep these things in mind. So Australia are not out officially, but they needed to win to ensure 2 points. They didn't need to lose today, but looks on track to be the case. So 1 over left, and Australia just looking to bat out one over. We'll stick until the end, I suppose. We'll see what happens at the end of this game. But so 1 over left. Australia 7 for 177. India will be delighted. They're through to the semi-finals officially. Hardik will bowl the last over. 29 off 6. And Cummins will pick up a single down the ground to long on. They'll come back for 2 in the end. 7 for 179. Hardik in. This one short, pulled by Cummins. And he'll hit it straight to Jadeja, who drops the catch at deep mid-wicket. And they'll just come through for a single only. Just the one. Slower ball bouncer from Hardik. Stark can't connect for the keeper, no run. So 3 balls left of the match. Australia 7 for 180, chasing 206 was always going to be a daunting task, but they did well to get close in the end, I suppose, even though they won't go on to win the game. For India, they're on track to potentially win a T20 World Cup. Hardik is in. Short ball again, another slower ball bouncer. Playing a miss again from Stark, can't connect through the keeper, no runs. Same as the previous delivery. Couple of balls left, and this game is good as done. India, too good. Too good today, India. Too good. And thoroughly deserved their victory. Rohit Sharma was pretty much the difference, really. Australia just gave away too many runs in the end. Hardik is in. Another slower ball bouncer. And again, a play and a miss from Stark for the keeper, no run. 1 ball left of the match, and probably 1 ball left of Australia's T20 World Cup as well. Last ball. Slower ball into the surface. Stark can only get a single to the offside. It's the end of the match. And India have won. And they're pretty happy about that. Why not? They've played pretty well today. And for Australia, they needed to win to keep the semi-final hopes alive. Unfortunately, they've lost. You would think Afghanistan should beat Bangladesh later on today and therefore qualify for the semi-finals of this T20 World Cup. India have won by 24 runs. Australia not quite up to the mark today. Obviously, back-to-back games where they've played pretty poorly. And for Australia, one of the favourites to win the tournament, unfortunately, would not likely go on to progress, which is a bit disappointing, but I suppose that's just the way it goes in this format of the game. So very disappointing, but for India, well-deserved victory nonetheless. And thanks everyone for joining us for this stream. I hope everyone had a good time, and thank you so much for tuning in if you did throughout our live stream today. A reminder to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter and on Instagram, and the podcast is available on Anchor, Spotify, and on Apple Podcasts. Until next time, keep safe and bye for now.